the Mass State Lottery, we're known for our monster wins. But there's no bigger win than the $1 billion we provide each year to support all 351 cities and towns in Massachusetts. In our game, we know that supporting local businesses and helping communities is how we all win. Because at the lottery, we're all playing for the home team. The Mass State Lottery. Welcome to the state of winning.
From the elbow of the Cape in Chatham, it's a matchup between a couple of teams that erased zeros on opposite sides of the win-loss column last night. For Hyannis, it was a first defeat of 2025 after a 2-0 beginning to the season. For Chatham, a first victory of the young summer. From the Cape's Cathedral of Baseball, it's an interdivision clash between two of the Cape's original four squads as the fog swirls and the lights flicker on here at Veterans Field in Chatham. It's the Hyannis Harbor Hawks and the Chatham Anglers. It's all right here on the Harbor Hawks Baseball Network. Good evening, everyone, and welcome fieldside at Veterans Field in Chatham. Alongside Graham Nash and Max Schwartzberg, as always, I'm Giovanni Collada. Thank you so much for joining us, guys. It was a first loss last night for Hyannis, but it does present a unique opportunity this season to bounce back from a loss for the first time this summer.
That's exactly right. The bats weren't really working last night for Hyannis. They really struggled after those first two innings. Had 2 hits and 2 runs in the first 2 innings, but after that, they didn't get a leadoff batter on base the entirety of the rest of the game. They struggled a lot when it came to runners in scoring position. 0 for 4 over the course of the 9 innings, so they've got a great opportunity, like you said, Gio, to get right back on the horse and show that they can bounce back, that they can respond, and that they are a very resilient team.
And despite the result, Max, wasn't devoid of positives last night. The pitching staff still delivered a stellar performance with 9 Whitecaps punched out.
Absolutely, Gio. You got to take positives where there are positives. Of course, we are early in the season, but the Harbor Hawks, you mentioned those 9 strikeouts. That's been a huge part of their game throughout the first couple games. But how about they're still low in the walks? Just 3 walks. Tonight, it's going to have to come down to getting those first pitch strikes, executing your pitches, and putting yourself in the driver's seat.
Ethan Plog, the incoming transfer at LSU, gets the baseball tonight from Mitch Carricker and co. I caught up with Coach ahead of the game tonight to see what he expects from his starter. Take a look.
Jackson.
Hi guys, I'm here with Brody Briggs from Arizona State, and
batting
you've kind of been switching
Chatham,
out.
the catcher, the University of South Alabama, number 25, Duncan Matthews.
Come back and we have someone wants to talk about Plog and keeping his head tonight. And then Graham has also said this is one of the nicest fields on the Cape.
Wait. You want me to talk about Plog?
Can you talk about Plog?
So you said keeping his head.
Gets here on the Cape. The fans do an awesome job, and it's different because it's a late game, right? It's 7 o'clock game, so we're under the lights the whole time, so it's a really fun place to play.
Last finish on the Cape. Have you seen the movie Summer Catch?
Yes.
It feels like a bit of a responsibility coming to the Cape League, of course. Well, it was set and filmed right here, folks, at Veterans Field. You come off a loss for the first time this season, Coach. What were your takeaways from last night's result?
Again, our pitching staff has been really, really good. They gave us a chance to win. Offensively, we just been scuffling a little bit. I think we've taken some good swings, some really good at-bats. They just haven't been falling for us. So just the message to the guy was just stay consistent, stay with it. The balls will start falling when we need to, and hopefully we can get something to fall today.
How would you like the bats to respond tonight? You alluded to it earlier, but what specifically would you like to see from them?
Yeah, I think just when we get pitches in the zone, we want to make some contact, right? And I think that's kind of what we pride ourselves on. We have really good hitters, and for whatever reason, it just hasn't happened yet, which is pretty normal in the Cape. You know, the pitchers are a little bit ahead, and guys are swinging wood for the first time in a while, and so hopefully we can make some adjustments. We had good early work today, good BP session, so hopefully that translates.
You mentioned that pitching staff, Coach. It delivered 9 Ks for you last night. Ethan Pla gets the ball for the first time tonight. What do you want to see from him?
Yeah, I think just, control his emotions. He's a younger guy coming from a junior college, and so this is a big step for him. He's going to face a really good lineup in Chatham, and he's got good enough stuff that he can be successful, but it's going to be able to throw the ball over the plate and then get the ball to our bullpen to finish it off.
This is a really good Chatham lineup. As you mentioned, you got Ace Reese, the SEC Newcomer of the Year, Henry Ford, top player in the transfer portal. How does the entire pitching staff accustom to those bats?
Yeah, I think we don't look at the names on the lineup card. We just pitch to our strengths and trust the really good defense that we have behind them and see what happens.
We'll see what happens tonight, Coach. It's Game 4 of the Hyannis Harbor Hawks season here at Veterans Field against the Chatham Anglers. Coach, thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Back to you guys. And Max, Ethan Plog looks to continue a hot stretch of Hyannis starting pitching tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. They have some big shoes to fill. We've talked about that as a common theme with how the pitching has set the tone. But pitching's an emotional game, and manager Mitch Carricker knows that. And, of course, Ethan Plog, the future Louisiana State Tiger, going to come in tonight and have a level-headed mindset as he toes the rubber.
And Graham, we heard Coach Carricker mention that this is among his favorite fields in the Cape Cod Baseball League. What stuck out to you tonight about the atmosphere here at Veterans Field?
Well, it feels very old school. You've got the grassy burn out in the outfield. You've got the fog rolling in. It just kind of feels like everything that the Cape Cod League is about, right? You've got the wooden bats. You've got the old-fashioned baseball. There's no review system or anything. It just kind of has that feeling of the Cape Cod League. It's got the feeling of if you drove up to upstate New York and you went to the Baseball Hall of Fame, it's got that kind of aura to it, and this park exudes exactly what that entire mindset of old baseball is.
Shades of Cooperstown, the Field of Dreams, all here in Chatham. Just old school baseball in the Cape Cod Baseball League, one of 4 original teams on the Cape. Hyannis also among those as well, along with Osterville and Falmouth. And tonight, fog looming over Veterans Field as our own Ava Fernandez caught up with Brody Briggs, a catcher for Hyannis tonight.
Hi guys, I'm here with Brody Briggs from Arizona State, and you've kind of been switching out with Vaughn throughout this game. How are you coming into the plate tonight?
I'm just do my job when I have a chance and, do as good as I can when I have a chance, and then hopefully, more opportunities come.
Yeah, how do you switch from switching pitchers and giving different signs? How do you kind of communicate that with the pitcher with just switching in and out of the game?
I think it's just learning our guys. It's early, so just kind of get a feel for the guys and their stuff, and eventually we'll get it down. So.
Yeah. Is there anything specific that you're looking forward to, your first away game tonight?
I'm excited to play in front of a new crowd, a different place. It's going to be really fun, so I'm excited.
Thank you so much. Good luck tonight.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
The mound to throw on.
Thank you, Ava, and we will be right back with first pitch here from Veterans Field after this.
I think, Dean, they're allowing you to find your own success and your own true independence.
Dean is a whole group of all different kinds of people and communities.
Since I've come to Dean, I've learned a lot of time management skills.
Our community is especially tight-knit, and the majority of our students live on campus. And you are guaranteed 4 years of housing while you attend Dean.
Dean is just full of opportunities for you to embrace, to welcome, so you can change yourself to who you want to be and form your career for the future.
So go through that, all right? Think that way.
Be a bulldog. Have a bulldog mentality in everything you do in life, whether you're playing sports or in the classroom or just socializing around campus.
When it comes to delicious food, the best place to start is with great appliances. And Cam Appliances is your one-stop shop for any budget with brands like Thermador, Viking, Bosch, GE, and so much more. Cam Appliances, sales, delivery, installation, and service in the heart of your home with locations in Hyannis, Nantucket, and Hanover.
Get ready for big results with our small machines. With more power, performance, comfort, and savings. They're ready for every job. And we're ready with plenty of inventory, the best support in the business, same-day parts availability, and locations across the Northeast. So you can always be ready to work. Milton Cat, always ready.
Hasn't been a ton of training when it comes to bat speed or products for players to be able to train bat speed. You can improve your bat speed and reach your goals working 10 to 15 minutes a day on this a couple of times a week. That's a no-brainer for every player.
Moments away from first pitch between the Anglers and the Harbor Hawks here on the Harbor Hawks Baseball Network. Guys, only 4 fogouts for Chatham last year. Looks like one could be on the way tonight, but remember, folks, you got to play the 5th inning, and then the game counts regardless of the score.
Yeah, fog is rolling in, and you told us it can happen very quickly. All of a sudden, it can be on top of you. It's also a cold night. It's going to be interesting playing baseball just in general with the cold. The fog, it could affect your eyesight a little bit. It's going to be interesting.
Let's take you through the lineups, folks, as Harbor Hawks come to the plate here in the top of the first inning. It's the lefty Ryan McKay playing second base and leading off. The righty Mira in center field for Hyannis. The lefty Andrew Williamson moves from right to left field tonight. Ray Velasquez, the righty, playing third base and batting fourth. It's the lefty Miles Bailey at his normal post at first base. Chris Rembert in the in the Hyannis order for the second consecutive night. He is in right field in the place of Williamson tonight. Charlie Bates slots back into the lineup at the 7th spot. The lefty plays shortstop. Hayden Federico, a switch hitter, is DHing tonight and batting 8th. Brody Briggs, the lefty, the battery for Ethan Plog, the lefty tonight. And on the mound for Chatham, it's Mason Peters out of Dallas Baptist University. The lefty is a rising senior at Dallas Baptist, primary closer for the Patriots in 2025, a native of Waco, Texas.
We saw something interesting like this last night in Hyannis' game against Brewster, a pitcher that normally was a closer, moved their way to a starting position. It's such a hard adjustment. We talked about that. You said that yesterday, Max, how hard of an adjustment that is, because now all the pressure's on you. You've got to start out this game, and Mason Peters, he's got a really tough order to try to work through.
Well, it is a difficult thing, but they also look at it as an opportunity. Of course, in front of them, they're playing in the Cape Cod Baseball League, an opportunity to start a game, have that command. Yes, it's going to be a tough way to go from reliever to starter, but you know these guys, they love the game. They're excited to get it done.
Stage is set, grass mode, lights fully on. Peters approaches the bump. The lefty sets in from the stretch, his mitt at his chest, ball behind him. The lefty McKay digs into the box for Hyannis and angles the bat behind his royal blue Harbor Hawk helmet. Peters is ready, McKay is ready. First pitch is roped foul, third base side, well out of play, and we are underway here on the Harbor Hawks Baseball Network. Hyannis and Chatham for the first time here in 2025 at Veterans Field. McKay down 0-1 to Peters. The southpaw breeze and fires. This one is gloved up the middle, and it's through for a base hit. McKay stops at second as it rolls all the way to the center fielder Ford. Cuts it off at second. Couple of pitches and a Harbor Hawk aboard at first base. It's Ryan McKay.
You can see right there the catcher Matthews. The glove was set down below the zone on the breaking ball. He left it over the plate. McKay gets extended, goes right back up El Centro, and a good start for the Harbor Hawks here in the visiting part of the first.
And so with McKay aboard on first and no one out, that brings up Matt Mura, the righty out of Hawaii, a Honolulu native and a Rainbow Warrior. Peters from the stretch appears at first. Now comes home. Misses inside 1-0 to Mura.
Matt Mura, a guy that's struggled a little bit from the plate so far this season. 0 for 2 yesterday, but he drew 2 walks. He's still done a very good job of getting on base. He's gotten on base in both of the 2 games that he has played, and that is part of a 23-game on-base streak he's worked since the end of his college season.
1-0 pitch is muscled towards short. On a hop, it's fielded by Lane. The throw to second for 1. Throw to first in time. A twin killing for Chatham. And quickly, 2 gone here in the first.
Now batting for Hyannis, the left fielder.
Well, that's exactly how you kill momentum for Chatham and for Hyannis. Man, that's what we saw a lot of last night. The bats just weren't really working. When they did get contact, it was weakened on the ground or it was popped up. So a really good sign for Chatham to be able to get them back into that groove, and now it's on the Hawks to get out of it.
Andrew Williamson digs in. First pitch to him is a strike right over the heart with a fastball, 0-1. Williamson out of UCF, the rising junior, has been stellar this season for Hyannis. 2 for 3 with a 2-run home run on Sunday against Harwich. 0-1 is skied foul behind the netting.
I'd love to see how this fog plays into the visibility, especially with the outfielders. You know, the ball going high in the air, definitely going to blend in with that similar color, foggy gray, and it could be a big factor later tonight.
Lights are on, fog coming in from right field to left field, off the Atlantic Ocean. 0-2. Inside at the letters, misses 1-2 to Williamson, excuse me. One of 4 players in the Cape League with a home run. Blake Sear of Brewster, Logan Hughes of Bourne, and Carson Tinney of Brewster, also with 1 long ball this year. A 1-2. Low and inside. Count levels, 2 balls, 2 strikes to Williamson. Peters making his first appearance for Chatham this year, but the Dallas Baptist Patriots made 20 appearances, 4-2 record, and accumulated a 4.25 ERA, part of a no-hitter against Liberty on May 17th. 2-2 is upstairs at the letters. 3-2, a full count to Williamson, 2 outs and no one aboard. Here in the top of the first inning from Veterans Field, Hyannis versus Chatham for the first time in 2025. Peters comes set from the stretch, glove at his belt. Kicking a deal. Fouled back, and Williamson stays alive. We'll do the 3-2 again.
This is what Andrew Williamson is so good at. It's fighting in at-bats, keeping himself alive when a pitcher is dealing well. Peters has missed a couple pitches, but for the most part, this at-bat has looked much cleaner.
Yeah, an opportunity to win his pitch. Fight off what's not friendly and get one in the zone.
Just inside, and it clips the inner black. Strike 3 for Peters. So Peters allows a leadoff single to Ryan McKay, works the twin killing of Matt Mura, and K's up Andrew Williamson. 1 hit, nobody on base, no errors in the field, and no runs for the Harbor Hawks in the top half of the first inning. We'll see the Chatham Anglers facing Ethan Plog for the first time after this.
Your future begins at Dean College.
Make a difference.
Leave your mark.
Break the mold.
Be a leader.
Achieve unimagined heights.
Believe in yourself.
Make lifelong friends.
This is your time.
Your place.
Your home. Your Dean.
It all starts here at Dean College.
for the Chatham Anglers, beginning with the righty Ethan Mendoza, the righty Henry Ford, and the lefty Ace Reese. Mendoza, defensive lineman, folks. Mendoza at second, Ford in center, and the lefty Reese at third base. Batting fourth, Isaiah Lane at short. Jake Hanley in left field, an Indiana Hoosier. We got Graham Nash, one of our own here. Noah Miller, the switch hitting DH tonight, bats sixth. Jackson Freeman in right field, a lefty batting seventh. Daniel Jackson, normally a catcher, he's at first base tonight. The catcher Duncan Matthews, a righty, batting ninth for Chatham. And on the mound for Hyannis, it is the incoming transfer to LSU, Ethan Plog, who spent his 2025 at Iowa Western Community College, accumulated a 5-3 record in 36 innings pitched, a 5.94 ERA, somewhat high, guys, but a 1.76 whip that earned him a transfer spot at LSU.
And 42 strikeouts in those 36 1/3. That's impressive.
Lefty Plog works from the windup to start. He faces the righty Mendoza here in Chatham. Glove at his face, first pitch. Misses, clips the inner black with a fastball at 92 on the gun. 0-1.
And although Plog's ERA might be a little inflated, he allowed 2 or fewer earned runs in 8 appearances, 8 starts this season. That is incredible for a starter that goes 3 or 4 innings.
0-1 pitch is inside once again. 93 miles per hour on the fastball from Plog, 0-2. Mendoza through 3 games. 3 of 13 for 231, with 1 RBI and 2 walks. Plog's 0-2. Fouled back. We'll do the 0-2 again. Mendoza at Texas, but he transferred from Arizona State. He goes back home as a native of Bedford, Texas. Rising senior for the Longhorns and Jim Schlossnagle. He credited Coach Schlossnagle's move from Texas A&M to Texas as the reason for his transfer. The righty sets back in. Plog stares for his sign. He's got it. The 0-2. Breaking ball inside. 1-2 to Mendoza. First batter for Chatham. They go righty, righty, lefty, righty for manager Dennis Cook, a 2-time World Series champion. One with the Florida Marlins and the other with the LA Angels. 1-2. Tap foul towards the dugout of Hyannis. We'll do the 1-2 again.
Mendoza went real high for that ball. He was swinging at his helmet pretty much. Was fortunate to make contact and send it foul so that it wasn't at least a wasted swing. He did get the bat on the ball, but man, that was he was reaching for it.
Bit of an emergency swing on that one.
Mendoza taps the dish with his burnt orange bat. Angles it behind his royal blue angler helmet. Plogs 1-2. Low and inside, it misses the plate. Ball count level, 2 balls, 2 strikes. No one out, no one aboard. Bottom of the first inning, still a scoreless affair between Hyannis and Chatham. The wind blowing from third into straightaway center off the flag by the former batter's eye. 1-2 pitch, fouled back. Mendoza lucky to catch a piece of the breaking ball. We'll do it again.
He's fighting hard, exactly what you want from a leadoff batter, because then it can increase the pitch count for Plog and also give your teammates behind you a little hint at what's coming for you.
Hyannis in burnt orange and gray bottoms. Chatham jerseys with royal blue pinstripes and blue numbers. 2-2 from Plog. He's roped deep to left center field. Back on it, Williamson. He is at the wall, and that ball is gone. Mendoza deposits a fastball into straightaway left center. Off of last night's explosion of runs, Chatham strikes first here at Veterans Field. First long ball of the season for Ethan Mendoza. His second RBI. It's got Chatham ahead 1-0 with nobody out here in the bottom of the first.
This is not a situation that the Hyannis pitching staff has really been faced with yet this season. First batter of the game goes yard against a starting staff that has been absolutely phenomenal. Interesting to see how they respond.
First pitch to Henry Ford is fouled back. Chatham changes the scoreboard for the first time tonight. A long ball from Mendoza to one of the deeper parts of the ballpark, just shy of the berm in straightaway center. The righty Ford sets in. Plog trying to rebound. His 0-1. outside with the breaking ball. Should be 1-1 to Henry Ford. The scoreboard is yet to change, and the home plate umpire, Jake Brichta, indicates as such. Ford digs in, Plog with the glove at his face, kicks and fires. High at the letters, it misses. 2-1 to Henry Ford, the top player in the transfer portal out of Virginia. A prolific season for the Cavaliers that earned him second-team All-ACC selection. 2-1. He just misses outside with a fastball. Plog now down 3-1 to Henry Ford. 50 games for Ford, 11 home runs, 46 RBI, just 30 strikeouts in nearly 200 plate appearances. 3-1 pitch is fouled high over the netting and out of play. And 3-2 now upcoming to Henry Ford. He steps out of the box momentarily with his Anglers ahead 1-0 here in the bottom of the first inning. Now steps back, taps his cream white and brown bat on the dish. As Plog waits for his sign, puts his mitt to his face, 3-2. Fouled back over the netting, similar spot, will do it again.
This has got to be frustrating for Plog. The really long leadoff at bat resulting in the home run, but you got to credit him for battling an opportunity, like manager Mitch Carricker said, to have that level head. Pitching is such an emotional game, but you cannot let the emotions get to you, let alone in the first inning.
Plog from the windup. Kicks and delivers. Inside, Ford drops the bat, ball 4. So through 2 batters tonight for Chatham, a home run from Ethan Mendoza and a walk from Henry Ford. A runner on base and no one out here in the bottom of the first for the A's.
And those at-bats have been really, really long for Chatham. That's what's really sticking out to me, is that they're seeing a lot of pitches from Plog. For Mendoza, he got down. Plog did a really good job, got 2 early strikes, and then Mendoza worked it back. Kind of the flip side on that last AB.
Plog switches to the stretch as Ford leads off of first. He peers there and deals to Ace Reese. Breaking ball clips the outer black, 0-1 in favor of Plog. Ace Reese, talk about prolific seasons with Henry Ford. Reese did just that for the Mississippi State Bulldogs. The lefty sets in. Plog looks back at first, kicks and deals. This one tapped down the third base line and through for a fair ball. It dribbles all the way to Williamson and left as Ford pumps the brakes at second. Chatham continuing to deliver hits as Reese knocks in a single the other way.
3 pesky at-bats for the Anglers, and if you're head coach Dennis Cook, you love what you're seeing. Not so much if you're on the Harbor Hawks side, but Plog is putting the ball in the zone, as there'll be a mound visit with Briggs right here.
And just to the point about the fog, folks, it is beginning to roll over Veterans Field. The lights can only do so much, as those of you that drive know. Your high beams do not work in the fog. You need those low fog lights. That is not what is equipped here at Veterans Field, but you can see just how quickly it comes. Almost mid-count there to Ace Reese. The fog heightens.
It's already getting a little bit tough to see the American flag in center field. Details are going to get a little bit foggy, no pun intended, but if they can keep playing, they will.
Comes from Old Harbor Road in deep center. No one out and 2 on for the A's. First pitch is a strike to Isaiah Lane. The righty playing shortstop tonight for Dennis Cook. He sets back in as Plog tries to collect himself. He's got his glove at his belt and set from the stretch. He breathes and deals an 0-1. This one is tapped towards McKay at second. Flips to second for 1. Federico on to first. Safe as Isaiah Lane legs it out. That will send Henry Ford to third. And excuse me, I said it was Hayden Federico. That was Charlie Bates tapping on the second base bag for the inaugural out of the inning for Hyannis. Rather, pair of outs in this inning.
It's a really good try from Ryan McKay to make that double play. It took an odd hop on him right before it got to his glove. Honestly, he's fortunate that he was able to get it because it hopped to his right and he had to kind of scoop it, which is what might have delayed that double play throw.
There should be one out. I was going to say, they called Lane safe at first, so it's just Reese that gets sent down. And now the lefty Jake Hanley swings through the first ball, and he is down 0-1. Hanley, an Indiana Hoosier, like our own Graham Nash here, typically plays first base, but tonight he starts in the outfield.
That's what you got to do in the Cape.
He digs in from the left side. Plog stares at first and dishes. This one's right over the heart with a fastball at 92.
Hanley.
Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, Hanley's a very patient left-hander. He's not going to expand the zone too much, and he's got a lot of power. The one thing is the breaking ball can sometimes fool him.
Lane reaches on a fielder's choice. They've got him on the corners with one out. 0-2. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. So victory for Plog there. 91 miles per hour on the heater to retire Jake Henley for the second out of the inning. And the 34th strikeout of the season for Hyannis pitching. You talk about how great that pitching staff has been with the strikeouts. Chatham has been better with 39 entering the game, 40 tonight with a strikeout of Williamson to end the top of the first. That brings up the switch-hitting catcher Noah Miller in the righty box to start. Plog dishes a strike. It clips the inner black. 0-1.
That's Plog's 23rd pitch of the inning. His count really getting up high. Chatham doing exactly what they wanted.
Plog ahead 0-1 with 2 outs and 2 on. The pitch. Swing and a miss at the breaking ball. And Miller out ahead of it. 0-2.
His last 2 breaking balls have looked phenomenal. He got Hanley to swing right through one, and then that time, pretty much an identical pitch, got Noah Miller.
Miller taps the dish twice into his crouch. Plog set with his glove at his belt, set from the stretch. The 0-2, fouled back off the Hyannis dugout. Look alive. Coach Carricker stands perfectly still as that ball whizzes by his ear.
Light work, no reaction. Wow.
2 aboard for Chatham on the corners, with Isaiah Lane at first and Forn 90 feet away from a second run here in the bottom of the first. With 2 outs, Plog's 0-2. Drifts outside of the breaking ball. 1-2, the new count to Noah Miller. Miller's a redshirt sophomore at Michigan. Rising redshirt sophomore, that is. The 1-2, runner goes from first, fouled back, so we'll do it again. It was Isaiah Lane in motion.
This is exactly what those first 3 batters did to Ethan Plog. They might have gone down early in the at-bat, but then they started to foul off pitches. They started to see them a little bit better, and then crack. It was a good hit, so Plog's going to have to fight through that.
Plog in the stretch, takes a beat, looks at first, and checks up. They've got him in a rundown. He throws to Bailey. Bailey over to second, and McKay, and he is safe. McKay with a blunder at second base as Bailey timed the throw beautifully. But Lane beats him to the bag, and so that will advance him.
No slide at second base. Wow.
I was a rundown, so you imagine he's got to retreat back, but McKay a bit too shallow with his play in the second base bag, and that allows Lane to get to the base.
I think that was more the fault of Miles Bailey over at first, guys. He really waited to throw that ball over to McKay at second, and that allowed him to get a little step. Bailey looked away for a second and then threw it.
He was concerned.
Now 2 in scoring position for Chatham with 2 outs. 1-2. He's tapped first base line, foul. Both runners well in motion. Ford about halfway to home plate from third with a healthy lead as Ray Velasquez a few paces from the outfield grass at third base. Fog subsided for the moment. Lights flicker on here at Veterans Field. Always a lively crowd in Chatham for Anglers games. An A's team that has been in this town since 1923. Plog with a breath, now the pitch. Breaking ball misses outside, 2-2. And Miller can torch Miles Bailey for his mistake if he's able to extend the inning here. 2 outs, 2 aboard. A 1-0 Chatham lead in the bottom of the first. Plog set from the stretch. Miller digs in. The pitch. He's fouled down the first base line. He's staying alive, 2-2.
It's like those first 3 at-bats. The longer that these Anglers battle, the better their swings begin to look. And it really killed Plog those first 3 times. Home run, walk, and a single. So he's got to lock right in, throw a good pitch. I like to see that breaking ball because it was really doing damage.
Deuces wild for Plog. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 aboard. The pitch. Foul down the first base line again. We'll do it once more. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Miller.
Pitch count has risen well over 30, 31 now, and you got to figure it's just got to be not only mentally taxing but physically taxing to be doing all of this, let alone in the first inning.
This is going to be the 10th pitch of this at-bat alone.
We'll do a 2-2 again. Plog set from the stretch. He deals. Fouled once more. Incredible plate protection from Miller.
Miller's doing such a good job of shortening it up and just getting right to the strike zone with that bat, keeping it short and sweet, making contact, but also Plog just going with that heater right now.
Official score in on the blunder at second base. Isaiah Lane credited with the steal of second. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 men on, a 1-0 Chatham lead here in the bottom of the first. Pitch is fouled towards the first base side again. The symmetry quite shocking here on this opening at-bat for Noah Miller. And Plog trying to escape a leadoff home run from Ethan Mendoza that began things with a bang here at Veterans Field. A walk from Henry Ford, a single from Ace Reese. He was eventually thrown out in the double play, which seems like forever ago. 2-2. Fouled once more. The definition of insanity, folks, doing the same thing over and over and getting no result. This has been a vigilant at-bat for Miller. Go ahead, Max.
I was just going to say, just a beautiful plate appearance because these are pitches in the zone, but he's looking for his pitch, his location, and it shows how good of a hitter Miller is to be able to really kind of sit dead red on the type of pitch he wants. And you got to credit Plug, 26 strikes in 34 pitches.
2-2. Check swing, appeal to first. He went around, and that ends a laborious inning of work for Ethan Plog. Chatham strikes first with a leadoff home run from Ethan Mendoza. They put 4 on the base paths, and it's a couple of outs back-to-back at long last from Ethan Plog that eventually end the inning. 1 run on 2 hits. 2 men left on base, no errors in the field. We head to the second here at Veterans Field.
If you can dream it, if you can cruise in it, if you can summer in it, fish from it, or take it for a day at the beach, we can protect it. The Baldwin Group, protecting the possible.
There hasn't been a ton of training when it comes to bat speed or products for players to be able to train bat speed. You can improve your bat speed and reach your goals working 10 to 15 minutes a day on this a couple of times a week. That's a no-brainer for every player.
Cape Cod 5 is proud to be the official banking partner of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Cape Cod 5 offers a broad range of financial products and services tailored for every stage in your financial journey. Reach out to us. We're here to help.
Back here in Chatham, it's a 1-0 Anglers lead at Veterans Field. 4, 5, and 6 due up for Hyannis after they went down in order in the top of the first inning. Ray Velasquez, the righty, Miles Bailey, the lefty, Chris Rembert, the righty, to face the southpaw Mason Peters out of Dallas Baptist. Back on the Harbor Hawks Baseball Network, Giovanni Collada, Graham Nash, and Max Schwartzberg with you. Field side at a foggy Veterans Field. Of course, the home of the fog out. Hyannis, not necessarily too different here from Veterans Field. The water has come off, or rather, the water is close by to right field at McKeon Park in the Hyannis Harbor, and it's been known to suffer some fog outs. Ray Velasquez first up. The pitch is low and away from Peters. The breaking ball misses. 1-0.
Peters had a really long wait. It's going to be interesting to see how he does after his team deposited a run, but 35 pitches for Plog. He was sitting down a while.
Velasquez set the 1-0. Is tapped towards the pitcher. It hits off of Peters and boots to the second baseman Mendoza. He throws to first, and Velasquez is safe as he legs out an awkward play off the back heel of the pitcher Peters.
Mendoza also had to make, obviously, quite the adjustment because he made the initial move to go more towards second base where that ball was initially going and then had to go left. So his adjustment then made him go into a bad throwing motion, and it pulled Jackson off the first base bag. So the throw actually might have been in time.
That brings up the power-hitting lefty Miles Bailey. 0 for 4 last night, trying to reverse an 0 for 6 stretch. First pitch is inside. Bailey jumps out of the way. 1-0.
Not only was he 0 for 4, he was 0 for 4 with 4 Ks. Struck out every time he came up to the plate, was just not seeing it very well yesterday.
1-0 pitch. Foul back over the netting. Count levels, a ball and a strike. For Bailey, it's aggression at the plate after a stellar freshman season at FSU that saw him hit 19 home runs and 56 RBI for a freshman All-American selection. He said to us earlier today that he's not going to shy away from that aggression despite the struggles. Peters 1-1. Before it, we'll go to first for a tag up, and he got him on the pickoff. Velasquez playing with his foot along the base paths. 1 out in the inning.
Just a critical error that unfortunately cannot happen, especially in a one-run game this early. You get something good going for you, the leadoff single, but he was leaning too far off and caught sleeping.
Bailey digs back in, a ball and a strike, now with 1 out and nobody aboard. Top of the second. Pitch is fouled back over the press box and out of play. 1-0 Chatham lead after a leadoff home run from Ethan Mendoza in the bottom of the first inning off Ethan Plog for Chatham, or for Hyannis, excuse me. A matchup of worst versus first tonight. Hyannis atop the West with Chatham 1-2, last in the East. Bailey ropes this pitch to right field at the wall. It's Freeman, and he looks over and he makes the catch. The fog rendering that read difficult, folks. Back against the wall, literally, Jackson Freeman gloves it for the second out.
This is back-to-back innings where Hyannis has had what looks to be a really good start. Singles in the leadoff position both times, and then something has just gone a little bit wrong. Matt Mura, he grounded into a double play. That time, Velasquez got caught at first, and then Bailey hit a beautiful ball, but it just didn't quite carry because of the heavy air.
First pitch to Chris Rembert, a breaking ball that dots the inner corner. 0-1 to the Auburn Tiger. That ball needed about 2 more inches to be a home run and respond right back to Ethan Mendoza's long ball. 0-1 is sorted down the first baseline out of play.
Yeah, that ball with Bailey hit very well, but hit with the top spin, so it was tumbling down. If he got backspinning on that ball, would have been on the burn.
We continue to return to this 29.6-degree launch angle that's ideal for home runs, Max. That one just a hair shy, maybe 29.4. Peters ahead 0-2, glove at his belt, he throws. Check swing for Rembert. He's did not go around as the pitch misses low and inside. 1-2 the count to Chris Rembert, one of the newer Harbor Hawks on the active roster today. A rising sophomore, native of Pensacola, Florida. He's ready for the 1-2 from Peters. A breath, a kick, and a deal. Swing, he shoots it right down to his foot. We'll do it again.
Max, what's the difference in a swing getting topspin on it versus backspin?
Well, it doesn't really come down to the difference. It's just that the way the ball is contacted.
Okay.
It's certain pitches, like a lot of times fastballs tend to be hit with backspin. That's how you get the carry.
This one tapped towards Peters on the mound. He comes off, he throws, and he ends the inning. They go down in order. A couple of hard-hit balls from Velasquez, who bounces it off the pitcher, Peters, to reach. He is eventually picked off. Bailey sends one all the way to the wall before it's put away by Jackson Freeman. And Rembert bounces out a 1-3 put away to close the top of the second inning. No runs, no one hit. No one left on base and no errors in the field from Chatham. To the bottom half of the second we go. Ethan Plog will look to redeem himself. The A's ahead of the Hawks, 1-0.
You can make any bat feel lighter by adding a velo puck knob. Instead of having to go get a whole entirely new bat, you can simply add the puck to it. Players can use this with any bat. It's basically going to shift the weight of the bat a little bit more towards the hands. Players are able to hit the ball a lot harder just by simply adding the puck on.
Here at the Mass State Lottery, we're known for our monster wins. But there's no bigger win than the $1 billion we provide each year to support all 351 cities and towns in Massachusetts. In our game, we know that supporting local businesses and helping communities is how we all win. Because at the lottery, we're all playing for the home team. The Mass State Lottery. Welcome to the state of winning.
The fog is mounting at Veterans Field here in Chatham, but the A's cling to a 1-0 lead after 1.5 innings. The Anglers will send 7, 8, and 9 to the dish after plating 6 batters in that early inning. Rather, sending 6 batters to the plate. They only plated Mendoza on the leadoff home run. And now Ethan Plog will look to settle in after an inning that featured a lot of damage, guys.
Yeah, I mean, that leadoff home run, that is not the way you want to start if you're Ethan Plog. These upcoming 3 at-bats might be his most important of the day. Of course, if he extends one and it goes all the way back to the top of the order, then they're already through the order another time in the top of the bottom of the second inning. That is nightmare fuel for a starting pitcher.
4 of the first 6 batters to come to the plate reached for Chatham. This is Jackson Freeman, the lefty left fielder. First pitch is inside, but it clips the inner black with a breaking ball. 0-1 to Freeman, the left fielder, a rising senior at Northwestern and a California native. 0-1. Fouled third base side. Plog quickly ahead 0-2. Max, this seems to be an imperative first out for Ethan Plog.
Well, he's got to be so tired because of that first inning, but look at him getting into the advantage count. We talked about that in the pregame show. He's putting himself in the driver's seat, and you got to give Plog credit where it's due. 29 strikes out of 37 pitches.
0-2 pitch. Outside. He did not go around on the check swing, and so Freeman gets his first ball back. Played in 52 games for Northwestern as a second baseman and right fielder. Batted .255. 6 long balls, 40 ribbies, and 25 walks. Plog's 1-2 is fouled third base side. We'll do it again.
This at-bat feeling eerily similar to Ethan Mendoza's to lead off the game. Mendoza went down 0-2 early, got a couple balls, fought his way back, and launched a home run. That's pretty much exactly where Jackson Freeman is sitting right now.
Freeman strides back into the box. Plog ready from the windup. He kicks and fires. This one fouled sky high. Briggs drops the mask as it approaches the net, and it bounces over onto the bleachers, a shade in front of the press box. The 1-2 will be repeated. We've got a fan with the ball to the tune of applause.
I thought for maybe a quarter of a second there was a chance it could come by our tent.
You need a fortuitous bounce to get under our tent here. As the skies have grayed, the fog continues to threaten. Rain, not a factor like it was early in the day. Nobody out, nobody on. Bottom of the second, 1-0 Chatham. The 1-2 is inside. Breaking ball misses at the letters. 2-2.
I'm sure Plog is just thinking, oh, here we go again. I'm throwing my pitches. He's fouling them off. I'm going right off the corner. He's taking them. It's got to be so frustrating as a pitcher. It just shows you how tough pitching is.
Freeman into his crouch. Plog kicks and throws. This one is muscled towards right field. Back at the wall. It drops in front of Rembert for a base hit. Rounding first is Freeman. He slides well ahead of the throw. It's a leadoff double for Jackson Freeman, and Chatham is once again sent a runner to the base pass with no one out.
Well, there's your backspin that we didn't see with Bailey. Got under that baseball and was able to hit right off the bottom of the wall. And Plog, I mean, he did everything he needed to in that at-bat, but that one, unfortunately, a breaking ball that was left too high in the zone, and he was able to elevate right there.
That's now 5 out of 7 batters that have reached for Chatham to begin this game, and up comes the righty Daniel Jackson. The Georgia Bulldog playing first tonight for Dennis Cook. Man on, no one out. Plog appears at second and throws. Pitch is swung through. 0-1 with an 89-mile-per-hour fastball from Ethan Plog. We're told that pitch tops out at 95. Haven't seen anything close to that tonight, about 92 at its peak. From the stretch, Plog has the glove at his belt. Jackson ready in the righty box. The pitch. Oh, hits him off the ankle. And he will head to first base. Jackson hopped gingerly as he drops his protective gear. Seems to be okay. Max, that's a brutal spot to be hit by as there's 2 aboard with no one out for Chatham in the second.
Yes, it is, but I think thankfully got him on the Evo Shield leg guard. We were talking about the other day how whenever I wore a leg guard, I was never hit by the ball, but right there it worked.
Out comes pitching coach Blaze Martinez for a visit with Ethan Plog. And Graham, this was a storyline we heard about before the game, that Plog pitches with his emotions and they would have to be kept in check if he was going to succeed tonight. What do you think coach is telling him?
Just giving him a second to breathe and calm down. Plog has done a really good job getting ahead in counts. He's been up 0-2 numerous times already in these first 2 innings, but he hasn't been able to close out the at-bat. He hasn't been able to get that last strike, to get the strikeout. That can be so frustrating for a pitcher, and it's half on Plog to calm himself down. It's also half on Brody Briggs behind the plate to know what his pitcher wants, but like the 4th member of our team, Ava Fernandez, talked to him about, it can be hard when you're pitching or you're calling signs for someone for the first time.
Up comes the catcher, Duncan Matthews. First pitch to him, a fastball that finds the inner corner, 0-1. And Plog played at Iowa Western Community College this past spring, headed to LSU in the fall. And so the Cape, a prime opportunity for him to show Jay Johnson what he's got. Next pitch, 0-1. Ball comes on the throw down after the catcher Briggs catches a ball. And sliding back in time is Jackson Freeman. Just a ball and a strike to Duncan Matthews. The catcher swings it from the right side. And the rising senior at South Alabama, a native of Flowood, Mississippi. Plog's 1-1. Skips into Briggs. He blocks it with his pad. 2-1, the count to Duncan Matthews. Matthews, high school assistant coach at Jackson Prep in Mississippi, was Chatham pitching coach Jay Powell, a 1997 World Series champion with the Florida Marlins, along with Dennis Cook, the manager for Chatham. 2-1. Is broken bat, a slow dribble to Velasquez. He scoops it up, throws to first in time for the out as the runners advance. Freeman at third and Jackson at second, 1 away here in the bottom of the 2nd inning.
Very productive out, get another runner in scoring position for Chatham and for Duncan Matthews. And it was a very nice play from Velasquez. The broken bat ball was just dribbling, barely rolling on the grass, and he was still able to charge in, make a nice throw. Did you guys see where he released that ball, though?
Yeah.
It was like at his hip.
A sidearm release point.
Like gunslinging.
From Manny Machado in that
yeah.
right there.
So in the first time through the order, Chatham sends 6 batters to the base paths. And now back to the top for Ethan Mendoza, the man who got it started with a leadoff home run. 1 out and 2 aboard, 2nd and 3rd for Chatham. Plog breathes and throws. His first pitch and misses at the knees. 1-0 to Ethan Mendoza. That's his first home run on the Cape. He now becomes the 5th player in the league with a home run this season, along with Hyannis' Andrew Williamson, among the players that have gone yard in 2025. 1-0. Is muscled towards left. It bounces in front of Williamson for a base hit. Freeman is home. Rounding second, Jackson. He'll get in safely. The 3-lay at second dropped by McKay, and that allows Mendoza to reach for a second time and as many at-bats. It's 3-0 Anglers after a 2 RBI double from Ethan Mendoza. What a night for the Longhorn.
That is just such a good piece of hitting. Sending it down the left field line. He got all of that baseball, pulling it down his favorable side, and then just good base running. I mean, this team looks cool, calm, collected. The bats really didn't get going until last night, but they've stayed alive. 1
out and a man aboard for Plog. First pitch to Henry Ford, and this is the most dangerous part of the lineup for the southpaw Plog. He takes a ball outside, 1-0. This was a Chatham team that struck out 17 times in the opening night loss to Falmouth here at Veterans Field. Boy, how fortunes have turned for the A's. 1-0. Skips into Briggs ahead of the plate. 2-0 as Plog falls behind. And action in the Hyannis bullpen down the first base line. A righty getting loose for Mitch Carricker. Forward into his crouch, he angles the bat behind his royal blue helmet. Plog, with the glove at his belt, stares down for his sign, peers at second, kicks and fires. This one is muscled past the third baseman Velasquez, down the third base line, and all the way into left field. Rounding third, a jogging Mendoza comes in to score. 4-0 A's as it's a RBI double, back-to-back for Henry Ford and Ethan Mendoza.
This is the point where if you're Mitch Carricker, you got to make a change, and that looks like it's exactly what's going to happen. He's walking up to the mound. Ethan Plog, he's just not been able to get those. Like you said in the open, Max, 42 Ks over 36 and a third, but only 2 strikeouts in this ball game tonight, both of them at the end of that first inning. He just hasn't really had his stuff.
Well, he hasn't been wild outside the zone, just 1 walk, but wild inside the zone with all these extra base hits.
Ethan Plog's day is done as Mitch Carricker will go to a righty to finish the second inning. Plog struggles mightily in his first appearance on Cape Cod. We'll see who the new pitcher is on the other side of a brief break here at Veterans Field. It's 4-0 Chatham in the bottom of the second on the Harbor Hawks Baseball Network.
Get ready for big results with our small machines. With more power, performance, comfort, and savings, they are ready for every job. And we're ready with plenty of inventory, the best support in the business, same-day parts availability, and locations across the Northeast. So you can always be ready to work. Milton Cat, always ready.
If you can dream it, if you can cruise in it, if you can summer in it, fish from it, or take it for a day at the beach, we can protect it. The Baldwin Group, protecting the possible.
The Anglers have exploded for a 4-0 lead here in the bottom of the second from a foggy Veterans Field here in Chatham. A pitching change for Mitch Carricker and Hyannis after 7 of the first 10 batters for Chatham have reached base, and the Anglers have opened up a 4-0 ball game over the Harbor Hawks. The new arm is Eric Hofberg, the righty, pitched in the opener at Wareham, only 1 inning of work, 2 strikeouts. That, of course, a theme for Hyannis pitching, the punch-out, folks. And now Hofberg strides to the bump in a very difficult situation, still with a runner aboard that Plog is responsible for in Henry Ford at second base, now having to clean up his mess.
Carricker needed to go to a guy that he really believed could get out of a sticky situation, and Hofberg, he's that guy. Team best ERA at Gonzaga in 2025, coming at 4 flat, pitched the most innings out of any reliever, and like you said, Gio, a phenomenal first appearance of the Cape League season, going for an inning at Wareham, a very clean sheet, no walks, no hits, no runs, 2 Ks.
The final line for the southpaw Ethan Plog, it's 1.1 innings of work, 5 hits, 4 runs, all of them earned. He'd get a 5th run if Ford comes home from second. He walked a Chatham batter. He did get 2 strikeouts and allowed a leadoff home run to Ethan Mendoza. That brings up Ace Reese, the SEC Newcomer of the Year. Mississippi State Bulldog swings it from the left side. Hofberg's first offering, a fastball, or a breaking ball rather, that clips the zone at the knees. 0-1. Mendoza's 2 RBI single ruled a single that he reached second on. The righty peers at second, kicks and fires. Pitches outside and misses the plate with a fastball. 1 ball and a strike.
This is the part of the order the first time up that really did damage. A home run, a walk, and a single. So they're looking to have a little repeat performance, but they've got a different pitcher they're looking at now, so things kind of reset.
1-1 pitch. A check swing, a loopy one at that. It clearly went around, and Reese down a ball and 2 strikes. With 1 out, it's Henry Ford on second base, after a double plated Ethan Mendoza from second. Reese, the lefty, the first in the order for Chatham, singled his last time at the plate, but was the first of a twin killing for Hyannis. 1-2. Drifts inside a breaking ball. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Fog is fluctuating here at Veterans Field. We've seen times where it's difficult to see the outfield berm, and times like right now where things are mostly visible. Reese taps the dish, readies for the 2-2 from Hofberg. Drifts inside, breaking ball misses. Loaded count for the Mississippi State Bulldog Ace Reese. continue the barrage of runs in the early goings here for Chatham. A 4-0 Angler lead in the bottom of the second. A man on and one out. The pitch is fisted towards second base on a hop fielded by McKay. He turns and throws to Bailey at first for the out, but that sends Ford to third base, 90 feet from a fifth run for the A's with 2 outs.
Snapped his shillelagh on that one, getting inside, a really good location from Hofberg, understanding that if he wants to go to that location, he's going to have to get it really on the hands because if Reese gets extended, he's dangerous.
That brings up Isaiah Lane, the righty swinging shortstop for Chatham. San Diego College. First pitch to him, a breaking ball that misses outside. 1-0 to Lane, who reached on a fielder's choice in the first inning. A party of runs for the Anglers. He was stranded along the base paths. 1-0 pitch. Misses inside with this ball. Hofberg quickly down 2-0.
And in this at-bat alone, it seems like the fog has really started to roll in on the left side of the field.
It can happen instantaneously. Hofberg nods for his sign. He's set from the stretch and deals. And another breaking ball misses at the knees of Lane, who barely moves the bat off his shoulder. 3-0 count to the shortstop for Chatham, who briefly steps out of the box, leans down as he taps his bat on the dish, and holds it high above his royal blue helmet. Hofberg from the stretch. Nearly hits him with the 3-0 pitch, and that sends Lane to first with a walk. Runners on the corners with 2 outs for Chatham in what's been a barrage of a second inning.
And that's going to be so tricky for Hofberg to manage. It just speaks to the situation that he walked into. Normally, if this is the start of an inning, he had a ground out and a walk. That's fine. That's not a big deal. But Henry Ford sitting over there at third is what makes this extremely tricky with a hard-hitting lefty up to the plate.
And for our Harbor Hawk pitching staff that's been oh so formidable, 33 strikeouts in 3 games. First pitch to Jake Hanley, a check swing where he went around. 0-1 the count to the Indiana Hoosier. A lefty playing left field tonight with runners on the corners and 2 outs here for Chatham. Hofberg's 0-1 is a pitch right over the heart. A breaking ball, 0-2, and Hofberg with a chance to escape with no more runs on the board, and that would be a momentous victory for the Harbor Hawks. They trail Chatham 4-0 here in the bottom of the second at Veterans Field. 0-2 pitch. Inside with a breaking ball, 1-2.
It's the first really good take of the day for Jake Hanley. He's been swinging at a lot of balls below the zone and a couple outside. That time he took that the entire way.
Hofberg quickly back atop the mound. 1-2 pitch, runners go. It gets away from Briggs. Here comes Ford from third. It rolls to the backstop, and he jogs across home plate. It's 5-0 Chatham as errors are galore here in this second inning. You saw one on Mendoza's single to a double from McKay. That has been scored, an error at second base. This one almost unequivocally an error on the catcher Briggs that plates Henry Ford.
Looked like he just got a little antsy trying to get Isaiah Lane, who was taking off to second, but I don't know why he would even try to make that throw.
A forced spot in the second from Chatham. Tapped first baseline foul from Jake Hanley. 1-2 the count to the Hoosier playing left field. A rising junior at Indiana, 6'6", 235, a towering stature in the box. Hometown of Mason, Ohio, 30 minutes north of Cincinnati. With 2 outs and a man on second. Hofberg's 1-2. Fouled over the netting, will do it again. This one over the press box. Hanley takes a lap outside the box. Now he steps back, taps his bat towards Hofberg, who briefly steps off the rubber, now retoes it. With the infield shifting the lefty slightly to pull. A breath, now the 1-2. He's fouled sky high on the infield. Multiple Harbor Hawks converging on it. Bailey calls off McKay and flashes the leather for the third and final out. For a Harbor Hawk pitching staff that fanned 33 batters in 3 games, it's been Chatham with the explosive offense through 2 innings. They get 5 more runners on base in the second inning and tally 4 runs off of 3 hits and just 1 runner left on base. 2 errors in the field from Hyannis, and it is 5-0 Anglers on a foggy Tuesday night in Chatham. We head to the third here on the Harbor Hawks Baseball Network.
When it comes to delicious food, the best place to start is with great appliances. And Cam Appliances is your one-stop shop for any budget with brands like Thermador, Viking, Bosch, GE, and so much more. Cam Appliances, sales, delivery, installation, and service in the heart of your home with locations in Hyannis, Nantucket, and Hanover.
If you need to dig, lift, move, grade, clear, or cut, pump, weld, clean, light, and just about anything else, dial up the rental source for the newest and the most reliable equipment in New England. Staffed with equipment and construction experts, Milton Rents, your local source.
Well, Chatham has exploded for a 5-0 advantage here at Veterans Field. We head to the top of the third, where Hyannis is now in the bottom third of its order for the first time all night. Chatham nearly batted around in the second inning, but 7, 8, and 9 due up for Hyannis, beginning with the lefty swinging third baseman Charlie Bates playing shortstop tonight. He'll face the lefty Mason Peters. First pitch, a swing and a miss from Charlie Bates. A healthy cut at a fastball that guns at 92 miles per hour. Quickly down 0-1. Peters already back atop the mound. The infield shifts the lefty to pull. 0-1 pitch is tapped towards short. Fielded on a scoop from Lane. He fires to first in time. 1 away.
It's a good effort from Bates to like it out. He actually made that a pretty close play, but it's got to be tough. He didn't play in yesterday's game, went 0 for 4 in the home opener against Harwich, which was the last time he played, so he's still trying to get into a rhythm. You know, didn't play one game. Got to find that rhythm, and you got to do it as quickly as you can, and obviously didn't quite get it there.
Peters has faced the minimum through 7 batters in this game. Now up comes Hayden Federico, the switch hitter, in the righty box to start things off. 1 out, no one aboard. Peters' first ball, a breaking ball that misses low and at the knees. 1-0 to Federico. An all-SEC freshman selection at Ole Miss, who leads the team in walks with 4. He's into his crouch. Peters kicks and deals. Fastball misses at the letters. He's ahead 2-0, and this is the kind of discipline we're used to from Hayden Federico.
He's absolutely one of the most disciplined players, and it's because he kind of has to. He doesn't have the same power as some of the other guys in the lineup, so he makes up for it with a really strong eye. He can draw walks from anywhere.
2-0 pitch is right over. Oh, he just misses inside. 3-0. Federico wisely lays off a fastball from Peters. He said he's going to wait for something he can drive, and he's not going to swing at pitches he can't handle. 3-0 pitch, misses inside, and right on cue, Federico works a 4-pitch walk. 1 aboard with 1 out here in the top of the third. It'll be the first batter over the minimum for Mason Peters, barring a double play.
This is a really important at-bat. Brody Briggs at the dish, and you got to hand it to the top of the order with 2 men on at least with less than 2 outs. That could be a big opportunity for the Harbor Hawks.
Federico on first, Briggs at the plate. First pitch is a fastball that dots the inner corner. Briggs takes 0-1. Briggs, an Arizona State Sun Devil, who has alternated starting positions at catcher with Vaughn Lackey from Georgia Tech. 0-1 pitch is sorted down to the third base line, out of play. Briggs quickly down 0-2. The rising junior from Tulsa, Oklahoma. Had a pair of 2-homer games during 2025, so he's got the power to leave the ballpark. And Hyannis could sure use that right now. 1 out, Federico on first. Peters looks there. Now comes home. This one fouled straight back into the screen. 0-2.
And Briggs is a similar guy to Charlie Bates, where he didn't play in yesterday's game, like you said, kind of going back and forth with Lackey. Already the third inning, and it's only his first at bat, so they're gonna be a little cold. They gotta fight long and extend these at bats and these plate appearances.
Briggs ready for Peters' 0-2 from the stretch. The lefty looks at first and checks up on Federico there, who scampers back in time.
Federico, he's got good speed. He is a steal threat. And honestly, with how poorly Hyannis has done with those runners on first, they might want to send him.
1 stolen base this year for Federico, 12 at Ole Miss. 0-2 is tapped softly into shallow right center. The right fielder Freeman calls everyone off and makes the play. 2 down here in the top of the third for Hyannis. Back to the top of the order at long last for Hyannis. Of course, this is the normal time to reach the top of the order once more. It's 2 outs in the top of the third. It gets you at 1 over the minimum. But for Chatham, it's nearly been through the order twice in 2 innings. Lefty McKay sets in a single, turned into a doubled off or double play in the first. With 2 outs, the pitch. Fastball misses outside. Slight check swing. Not enough to warrant an appeal. 1-0. And speaking of walks, McKay can work them himself. He led Michigan State in walks with 46 for the Spartans. Peters checks up at Federico at first, and he dives back in safely. With 2 outs, he's the only man aboard here for Hyannis in the top of the third. Chatham leads the Harbor Hawks 5-0. Long hold from Peters, now the pitch. Swing and a miss from McKay. Healthy cut at a fastball right down Broadway. A ball and a strike.
McKay's a great leadoff guy for that reason, A, for getting those walks so easily, but also he's got great speed and he's got power. He's shown it off a couple times, but that single was well hit.
Another healthy cut at a fastball. Almost identical pitches and identical result for McKay. 1 ball, 2 strikes as Peters a strike away from escaping the third inning unscathed. The bell tolls here in Chatham, hopefully not for Ryan McKay. Peters from the stretch, kicks and throws. Off goes the runner, Federico, fouled back over the netting. We'll do it again.
I don't know how he was able to make contact with that one. That one kind of emergency swing. Fastball up by his eyes, but he's wearing that hockey puck on the knob, and you know what he says? He hasn't been late to a pitch this season yet.
That knob at the bottom of his bat called a puck, and he told me he helps him with swing speed. And as Max alluded to, he's been in front of or ahead of every pitch this year. 1-2 pitch, slow and in the dirt. Count levels, 2-2.
And that was a really good take. You could just tell by McKay's reaction that he was proud of that take. It started in the zone, bent away, and that's one where you got to really fight your instincts to swing.
Peters stares in for his sign. McKay digs into the lefty box. Deuce is wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Federico on first. Peters will check up there, and Federico races back safely. No disengagement rule on Cape Cod. That reflects the NCAA rules on that regard. MLB's philosophy is 3 disengagements. Here's another one here. We've seen 1 pickoff tonight. This one nearly another as Jackson got the tag down just as Federico slid into the bag. Reset with Peters. Glove at his belt. He stares down Federico at first. And he kicks and throws. And McKay skies this towards shallow left. The left fielder Hanley's on it. He flashes the leather and ends the inning. Just 1 above the minimum for Mason Peters as he strides to the Angler dugout. His A's are up 5-0. They almost go down in order. No runs on no hits, no errors in the field. Just Federico left on base for the Harbor Hawks. We head to the bottom of the third inning where Chatham will nearly go through the order for a 3rd time in this game here on the Harbor Hawks Baseball Network.
This week we've been working a lot with doing play-by-plays, just doing behind-the-scenes stuff with sports broadcasting, which I never really realized how much went into it, but it's been really cool.
They've grown a lot. I've never really done like a program like this before, so like seeing all the behind-the-scenes has like really grown.
I've learned how to really just gain confidence in my play-by-play speaking, and I've learned more terms here when it comes to directing and producing. and I've just had a great time with John Rook.
Doing the play-by-play stuff and all that, being with a guy like John Rook, understanding what like the major kind of entails doing this camp, just really a preview for what you do here at Dean or any other college doing broadcasting. So I'm definitely more prepared to make this a job of mine.
Cape Cod 5 is proud to be the official banking partner of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Cape Cod 5 offers a broad range of financial products and services tailored for every stage in your financial journey. Reach out to us. We're here to help.
It's time for the bottom of the third here at Veterans Field. And for the home team, Chatham, it's been a track meet. Hyannis not racing along with them. 5-0 score as the Anglers lead the Harbor Hawks and send 6, 7, and 8 to the plate for the second time in this game, now in just 3 innings of work. The switch-hitting catcher Noah Miller begins things off. Rather, DH Noah Miller leads things off. He struck out in his first plate appearance against Ethan Plog. The southpaw replaced now by the righty Eric Hofberg for Hyannis. And a problem right off the bat here with Brody Briggs's pads as a Chatham team, rather a Hyannis team member, jogs out from the first base dugout to fix it. The catcher squats into his crouch. Miller's in the box. Home plate umpire Jake Brichta resumes play. Hofberg kicks and deals. Swing and a miss. Miller ahead of a breaking ball at 79. 0-1 to the switch-hitting batting righty for this at-bat. Now back-to-back plate appearances. 0-1 pitch, swung through again. Similar breaking ball, similar swing, 0-2.
Miller very fooled by that pitch. Really extended his arms, extended that zone, trying to just get a piece and at least make some contact, but he couldn't do it.
0-2 pitch drifts outside. It's the first ball of the count to Noah Miller. Miller typically plays catcher for Chatham. That distinction goes to Duncan Matthews tonight, batting ninth. 1-2 pitch. Drifts inside, another breaking ball. All 3 breaking balls in this count have gunned at 79 miles per hour. Hofberg peers in for a sign from Briggs. He's got it. He holds the glove at his chest. From the stretch, he deals. And it misses inside. Oh, strike 3. A long hold from Jake Brichta on the punch out. But down goes Miller. 1 away here in the bottom of the third.
That one looked to be right in that buffer zone from our angle, but home plate umpire Jake Brichta had a much better look, so he calls it a strike, and this has got to be a much more comfortable situation for Eric Hofberg. No runners on base as he begins his pitching in the bottom of the third here.
The strike zone on the Cape League website says it is indeed right in that buffer zone. First pitch to Jackson Freeman misses outside. Another breaking ball, this time it's 78, 1-0. The right fielder for Chatham, Freeman, a lefty, drove in a double, and then scored on the Mendoza single to a double. Next pitch is in the dirt, or rather, clips him at the knees, 1-1. 1 out, no one aboard here in the bottom of the third. Chatham ahead of Hyannis, 5-0. From the stretch, Hofberg throws. Breaking ball, clips the inner black, 1-2.
Hofberg, a really good reliever to bring in this situation because he's used to going multiple innings. So where Plog couldn't maybe get Mitch Carricker as many as he wanted, now Hofberg can step in and get it to the 5th.
This one taps towards Velasquez on a hop. He scoops it up and throws to first in time for the out. 2 up and 2 down for the first time all game long for Hyannis pitching. Hyannis and Eric Hofberg trying to save the arms as this game progresses.
Yeah, you've got to because, A, you can't use too many. You've got another game coming up just a couple days away, so you want to save some for another upcoming battle that's going to be hard fought. And B, you just need to make sure that your guys are comfortable and confident when they do pitch next, and you can't extend them.
First pitch from Hofberg to Daniel Jackson. Dots in for a strike. Fastball at 89 to the righty swinging first baseman from Georgia. Another player that can step in at battery. 0-1 deal is inside. Breaking ball at 80 miles per hour. 1 ball, 1 strike. With 2 outs and no one on. Daniel Jackson, a part of that barrage in the second inning. Second batter to reach the plate. Hit by pitch. 1-1 pitch is inside. It clips the inner black. 1-2. now the count. And Hofberg a strike away from the first 1-2-3 inning for Hyannis. Certainly all game long. 1-2 pitch skips in the dirt. Count levels 2 balls, 2 strikes. But also the first 1-2-3 inning for Hyannis since the top of the 9th yesterday. Deuces wild, 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. The pitch. Foul down the first base line, out of play.
These are the points in the at-bats where the pitching staff for Hyannis has gotten in trouble. As the Anglers fight in battles, see more pitches, make more contact, they've had more success. But different pitcher up this time in Hofberg.
Jackson ready, the 2-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Hofberg K's him up with the gas. And the Anglers go down in order for the first time all game long. 2 strikeouts and a ground out for Eric Hofberg. No runs, no hits, no errors, and no one left on base. This remains a 5-0 ball game here at Veterans. We keep it right here on the Harbor Hawks Baseball Network with our very own Ethan Wachs.
Thank you very much, Gio. It is early in the season, but the Harbor Hawks have already shown great discipline at the plate. The team leads the league in walks with 20, averaging more than 6 walks per game. Hayden Federico, who has already played 3 different positions in as many games this year, leads the team with 5 walks in just 12 plate appearances. Federico, who played both baseball and football for all 4 of his years in high school, was named to the All-SEC freshman team at Ole Miss, where he was no stranger to the base pass, recording 34 walks in just 215 plate appearances. Despite starting the season in Cape Cod just 1 for 7 at the plate, he is tied for 3rd on the Hawks in on-base percentage. Once on base, he has proven to be a dangerous base runner, stealing 12 of 16 bags at Ole Miss and swiping one base in his only attempt as a Harbor Hawk. A keen eye at the plate, speed on the bases, and versatility in the field makes him an important piece on the team. Now to the team in the booth, who's going to take you to the top of the 4th. Guys?
Thank you very much, Ethan. Hayden Federico, always a threat along the base pass. You mentioned her 12 of 16 bags, but how about when Ethan mentions his walk numbers, Graham? We've alluded to this at times tonight. 4 walks, now 5 walks, a team leader for Hyannis so far. What have you seen with his discipline at the plate so far?
He just doesn't expand the zone, and it's so important. This is something that Max actually said yesterday. He said, I'm going to sound like a broken record. I feel like I'm a little bit of the same, but the plate discipline is so impressive when it comes down to not expanding the zone. When you don't have those reaching swings, you only go to what you see.
Mason Feeder's first pitch to Matt Mura is a single into left field. Mura pumps the brakes with a wide turnaround first as it's cut off by the left fielder Hanley. 1 pitch and 1 runner on to begin at the top of the 4th inning for Hyannis. Trailing Chatham 5-0. 2, 3, and 4 due up now. Matt Mura on first base is the 2-hitter. Up comes number 3, Andrew Williamson. The lefty switched from right field to left field for tonight's game and leads the Harbor Hawks with a home run and 4 hits. First pitch to him is skied into left field. On it, Hanley. He puts it away for the first out.
So about as good of a first out as you can have in the situation. Matt Mura could not tag from first over to second because Jake Hanley was in good position.
Well, Harbor Hawks attacking early. Mura on the first pitch. Williamson early in the count. Kind of a new look for the Harbor Hawks, who've been very patient, and that's obviously been a big benefit for them. But a different approach, maybe trying to change things up.
So just 2 pitches and 1 on and 1 out for Hyannis here in the top of the 4th. Up comes Ray Velasquez, the righty hitting third baseman. The lefty Peters stares at first, now comes home. And he throws a fastball waywardly outside. 1-0 to Velasquez, who in his last at-bat singled, was then picked off at first base after Peters won the mind games between him and the runner. Velasquez into his crouch. Peters set from the stretch. From the belt, he throws. Off goes Mura. It's dropped out of the hand of the catcher Matthews, and Mura walks in without a throw. was a theme of the first game for Hyannis. 4 stolen bases in 5 innings. And now Mura swipes a bag here against Chatham. 1 out and now a runner in scoring position.
And this is the first time that Hyannis has an at-bat with a runner in scoring position. They were 0 for 4 in these positions yesterday. Going to see if Ray Velasquez can change that.
Peters ready for a 1-0. He peers at second and throws. And pitch misses high and at the letters of Velasquez, who barely moves. 3-0 count to Ray Velasquez. In this situation, Max, green light all the way. Down 5-0 to Chatham in the top of the 4th. Mura leads off of second. The infield shifts the righty to Paul. Peters takes a breath, now fires. Fastball misses outside, ball 4.
And this is what Hyannis needs. They just need to string together base runners. This game is not very deep. We're only here in the top of the 4th inning. Got to score a little bit here, score a little bit there. They can get right back in this game. It doesn't have to be all in one swing. It could be death by 1,000 cuts, and as long as you're just being productive.
And it all starts with the walks. Hyannis so good at drawing walks as a team. That's kind of how they fuel their offense. Only the second walk of the day for this Chatham pitching staff, I should say.
Nice correction. Runners on first and second for Miles Bailey. First pitch drifts inside, and now a mound visit initiated by Duncan Matthews. He'll chat with Mason Peters after his last couple of pitches have faltered. 5 balls in a row.
That is a filthy breaking ball to Miles Bailey. Kind of dropped below the zone, but Bailey acting as if he needed to get out of the way of that. That just shows you how difficult hitting a baseball is, because that's a tunnel with a fastball that goes up and in. Gosh, I'm grateful I'm not up in the box right now.
Well, Matthews and Peters conclude their mound visit. Matthews walks slowly back to the dish, and Miles Bailey, the power-hitting first baseman for Hyannis, sets in as he is ahead 1-0. Velasquez on first, Mura on second. Pitch is lifted high in the air, third base side, foul. And count levels, a ball and a strike to Bailey.
Max, I feel like this pitching staff of Chatham has just kind of realized that they have to throw the breaking ball to Bailey because it's less likely he gets that backspin and can really send one deep. It's more likely that he's going to just send one on the ground.
They're going to want it down in the zone.
Peters is 1-1 on the way. Swing and a miss. A healthy cut from Miles Bailey. Maybe in search of retribution after he sent a fly ball 313 of 314 feet in right field in the second. 1-2 count upcoming, 1 out and 2 on for Hyannis. The most action along the base pass for the Hawks all game against Mason Peters. The pitch is inside. Misses with a fastball. Peters unhappy. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Surprised we saw fastball there. He's been tunneling the fastball. Went fastball in the pitch before, but Peters must be really liking the heater.
The lefty set from the stretch. He peers back at Mura at second. Now kicks and throws. This one lifted high in the air to deep left center field. Both Freeman and the other one back on it, and it is gone. Finally, for Miles Bailey, he breaks the cold streak with a towering home run to left center field. A 3-run blast to bring the Hawks back in it. 5-3 the new score here at Veterans Field.
And Graham, you mentioned it. You were surprised that he doubled up on the fastball. How about tripling up on the fastball? Now you need a new baseball.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I'm so shocked that he went right back to it. And that swing from Bailey, he obviously crushed it, but when it was in the air, I didn't think it was going to fly out.
Neither myself.
First pitch to Chris Rembert, a breaking ball in the dirt, 1-0. Eerily reminiscent of that fly ball to right field that we thought teetering with the wall. This one, just a sky-high drive, goes a mile and just flies out of the park. 1-0 pitch is inside. It clips the inner black, 1-1. So Rembert up now with the Harbor Hawks firmly back in it here at Veterans Field. Quiet reaction from the away crowd as that ball just sailed over the left center field fence. Rembert taps a fastball back to the backstop, 1-2.
And what it does is it puts the momentum back in Hyannis' hand. Yes, the Harbor Hawks are losing this game, but now they have that momentum, and that's what they did not have all the other innings of this game.
Rembert ready from the righty box. Peters set from the stretch. 1-2. Misses at the letters. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Chris Rembert. The on-bird Tiger trying to follow up Miles Bailey's power show here in Chatham. First home run of the season for the freshman All-American at Florida State. Seemed like it was coming in due time. 2-2. Swing and a miss. Rembert goes down on the breaking ball. 2 away here in the bottom of the 4th.
That is just the second strikeout of the day for Anglers pitching. So yes, Hawks, the comeback is not complete yet, but you got to take these pauses where you see it. They're coming back in the game, and they're still not striking out all too often.
Up comes Charlie Bates in the 7-hole. 5-3 Chatham with a home run for Miles Bailey in this inning. First pitch to him, sorted foul down the third base side.
I want to say about Rembert as well, he was very late to that last ball that he struck out on, and that was something that he told me it's going to take a while for him to make an adjustment to, because the wooden bat, it's a much different feel, much different weight, so he felt like his timing was off.
0-1 pitch, clips the knees of Charlie Bates as he dips down and fouls it. A fastball in for strike 2. With 2 outs and no one aboard after a base-clearing 3-run shot from the power-hitting lefty Miles Bailey. Peters comes home and throws a fastball outside. Bates barely moves. 1-2. I mentioned it was in due time for the power-hitting lefty Bailey. An 0-for-6 stretch entering that at-bat. 1-2 is poked up the gap in second base and through for a base hit. Bates takes a wide turnaround first, stops in a hop, and comes back, and he's got a 2-out base runner for Hyannis with Hayden Frederico up to the plate.
Well, that's got to feel really good for Charlie Bates. Grounded out his first time through, and also just struggled in his last game against Harwich. Again, 0-for-4, 2 Ks. That's not what he's looking for. And earlier in that at-bat, he was frustrated. He took a ball that was called a strike and just kind of nodded his head. He was like very, very frustrated.
Tying run at the plate. It's Hayden Federico, the switch hitter, batting righty for this at-bat. First pitch to him is right down Broadway with a fastball from Mason Peters, who has pitched a solid outing despite the lone blemish on his record, a 3-run shot from Miles Bailey. With Charlie Bates on first, he has to get it together here to stop the bleeding. 0-1. Pitch is low and at the knees of Federico. Count levels, a ball and a strike.
And it came in the 4th inning. That's honestly, if you're a head coach, I feel like very acceptable, because it's not like it happened in the first. He allowed his team to build a lead, build momentum.
Pickoff attempt at first, way late as Bates slides in safely.
And then he just got beat by Miles Bailey. A lot of guys have gotten beaten by Miles Bailey. He is such a good hitter. So if I'm the manager for Chatham, I'm not too concerned about that home run, that blemish, as you said, Gio.
19 dingers at Florida State this season for Miles Bailey, 56 RBI. Peters will check up on first again. A tag applied from Jackson late as Bates is safe. 2 outs. Bates the lone man aboard for Hayden Federico. The Ole Miss Rebel, an all-SEC freshman selection. An impressive first year for Hayden Federico at Ole Miss. Count level, a ball and a strike. Here's Peters. Some foul back over the netting. 1-2 with Peters a strike away from escaping the lone inning with damage for him. The Dallas Baptist Patriot, typically the closer for DBU, stretching to what is most likely his longest outing of the year. Tapped, foul, we'll do 1-2 again.
He is a closer, but he's a closer that can go 4, 5, 6 innings. His last appearance.
His longest outing, a 6-inning, no-hit, no-run, 10-strikeout appearance. The winning pitcher in a no-hitter for Dallas Baptist over the Liberty Flames. A closer with range, you might say. 1-2. Upstairs at the letters, Federico lays off. 2 balls, 2 strikes. That's especially rare from someone that throws the kind of gas we've seen from Mason Peters.
That's why he got the start. I mean, You can't go from closer to starter just like that. You got to be a pretty special pitcher with pretty special mentality, and clearly Mason Peters fits that bill.
He's dialed it up to as high as 94 tonight. 2-2. Drifts inside, 3-2. 2 outs, just Bates aboard. A 5-3 Chatham lead here in the bottom of the 4th inning. The fog continues to loom, but not to the point where this game would get moved to a later date. The fog out, it is colloquially known. 3-2 pitch with the runner off, and Federico works a walk. Well, that's his forte, and his team leading 6th based on balls. A pair of runners aboard with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 4th.
What a professional at bat from Federico. Fouling off pitches, taking close ones, and that's exactly what you need to do. It's all about passing the baton, next guy up, and that's what the Harbor Hawks are doing to get some damage done.
Out comes pitching coach Jay Powell to have a brief discussion with his southpaw up top the mound. Duncan Matthews joins the conversation. It's Charlie Bates on second, Hayden Federico on first. And Federico, you mentioned professional at-bats. Talk about what coaches want to see. Walks do equal runs, folks. And that is exactly why college coaches salivating with those at-bats from Hayden Federico.
They might be salivating. That would be quite the reaction, too.
Bit of a Stephen A. As I said it, I thought of Stephen A. Smith. Don't go salivating, and right?
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's a classic. Yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
video.
Shout out Stephen A.
Shout out Stephen A. That's exactly what happened in the season opener at Wareham. They got so many runs in that 8th inning just because they drew 4 walks and got hit by 2-3 pitches.
9 walks on the game, too, from Hyannis.
And Federico, this past spring, 34 walks to 34 strikeouts at Ole Miss. That's pretty impressive to do in the SEC.
First pitch to Brody Briggs is a ball. The symmetry is stellar for Federico, who creeps off of first. The infield shifting the lefty Briggs to pull. Briggs flew out to right in his last appearance in the 3rd. The southpaw appears at second. Now Peters comes home. This one is muscled over the 3rd baseman, Reese, and in for a base hit. Here comes Bates. He'll score with ease. And Brody Briggs has just cut the deficit to 1. 5-4 Chatham with 2 aboard and 2 out here in the 4th.
One swing of the bat can really change a ball game, and I think we can give that title of game-changing swing to Miles Bailey. Without that home run, I don't know if Hyannis would have this kind of momentum. I really don't think that they would. Brody Briggs, such a good swing, in on the hands, fought it off down the left field line, just over very extended Ace Reese. That is a great swing from the catcher.
Back to the top of the order for Ryan McKay. He swings through the fastball first pitch. 0-1 the count to the Michigan State Spartan. McKay swings it from the left side. He's got a pair of runners aboard with Briggs at first, Federico at second. 2 outs and a 5-4 ball game here in the bottom of the 4th. Pitch from Peters inside and misses the inner black. Ball count levels, a ball and a strike.
Always have thought that the 2-out rallies are the most dangerous. That's what Hyannis is leaning on right now. Bates that single, Federico the walk, then Briggs a single. Set it up beautifully for the top of the order.
McKay ready for the 1-1. He fouls it back over the netting, straight over our heads. 1-2. The Harbor Hawks a batter away from going around the order. It was Mura that started things off with a single on the first pitch of the inning. Andrew Williamson flew out. They didn't record another out until the strikeout of Chris Rembert, the 6th batter in the order. 1-2. Skied on the infield. The second baseman Mendoza treads back into right field and ends an explosive inning for the Harbor Hawks. One swing of the bat from Miles Bailey makes it 5-3. Another from Brody Briggs makes it 5-4. The Harbor Hawks pick up 1, 2, 3, 4 hits. They leave 2 runners aboard in Federico and Briggs. No errors in the field from Chatham, but 4 runs surrendered. We've got a ball game headed to the 5th here at Veterans Field. Just a to the bottom of the 4th here at Veterans Field. Just a 1-run Chatham lead.
When you need to dig, lift, move, cut, or just about anything else, Then dial up the rental source staffed with equipment and construction experts. They'll help you get the right machine for the job and make sure it's delivered when and where you need it. With locations across New England and the newest and most reliable inventory, Milton Rents is your local source.
When I started teaching on the Cape 30 years ago, you could buy a house on a teacher's salary. But today, teachers, public safety officers, healthcare and hospitality workers, the people who make the Cape work, are struggling to find homes they can afford. And I really worry about the kids who will follow us. I think it's time we learn to do better.
If housing on Cape Cod matters to you, join us at capehousingmatters.org.
Well, this game has just been flipped on its head from Veterans Field. What was once a 5-0 lead for Chatham has been erased to a 5-4 deficit with one swing of the bat from Miles Bailey, another from Brody Briggs, the battery mate for Eric Hofberg tonight. The Harbor Hawks have clawed their way back in it as we head to the fourth inning in a fog-ridden Veterans Field. It's moving from first to third as the lights are fully on here in Chatham. 9-1-2 due up for an Angler team that started out so hot, Graham, and only fizzed out for that third inning and allowed Hyannis to explode right back in it.
You got to give all the credit to Eric Hofberg. He did such a phenomenal job coming into a tricky situation, only allowing one in that second and then shutting down the bats in the third. Strikeout, ground out, strikeout. That is what was in store for the A's in the bottom of the third. He's trying to go right back to work, bring his bats back up.
First pitch of the inning to Duncan Matthews is a strike at the knees. The fastball clocks 88 miles per hour from Hofberg. Matthews swings it from the right side and takes an 0-1 pitch on a breaking ball that misses the inner black. A ball and a strike to the junior from South Alabama. Will place beat D-Bot in between the 5th and 6th. 1-1 the count. And a strike comes in from Hofberg at 78 miles per hour. Working quickly here with Duncan Matthews. From the stretch, now the pitch is low and away. Count levels again, 2 balls, 2 strikes. No one out, no one aboard. This is the first batter of the bottom of the fourth for Chatham. 5-4 lead for the A's. Hofberg's 2-2. Misses inside. Oh, it clipped it again. That inner corner in flux from Jake Brichta. It sends down Duncan Matthews with a breaking ball that loops in for strike 3.
And I can't emphasize how important it is for the Harbor Hawks to have a clean inning. Get those hotbacks right back in there as the momentum is in the offense's hand.
I don't think you can ask for a better guy to be up there right now and try to throw a clean inning. 3 strikeouts in his last 4 batters.
That's the 3rd strikeout for Harbor Hawk pitching tonight. First for Eric Hofberg, the 2nd looking of the game for either side. And the first pitch to Ethan Mendoza is outside. A ball and a strike to a ball, no strikes to a player who has done nothing but reach base in this game. A leadoff home run in the top of the first, and a single stretch to a double off an error from Ryan McKay in the third. He swings through a 1-0 pitch. It dribbles to the backstop as Briggs missed it. And it's 1-1 to the Texas Longhorn. Mendoza briefly steps out of the box, readjusts his royal blue angler helmet, holds the bat up in the air for the moment, taps the dish with it, twirls it around, and now rests it on his right shoulder. Hofberg's 1-1. Is a check swing. He for sure went around there, and indeed, it's 1-2.
Hofberg doing such a good job right now, changing the eye level, changing the speeds. He has got these batters totally confused.
For Chatham, we'll try to reclaim the momentum that Hyannis stole from it so meanly. 1-2 pitch, misses low and away. Count levels 2-2.
It's kind of what happened to Hyannis yesterday, where Brewster just kind of took their hitting momentum right away from them. It's ironic and funny how quickly it happens.
2-2 pitch. Drifts outside with a fastball. Count loaded, 3-2.
That's now 3 straight pitches on the outer location. Wouldn't be surprised if he tries to go inside right here.
The righty Hofberg set from the stretch, glove at his chest. 3-2 pitch is lifted in the air. Left field on it, Williamson. 2 down, 1 down, or 2 down. We got 2 down here in the bottom of the fourth. Playing some hot potato there with 1 and 2 outs as the scoreboard's late to adjust.
Got to trust yourself, Gio. It's gotten the best of us all this season.
Have as much trust in myself as Henry Ford does in his approach at the plate. A walk and a double in his previous 2 at-bats tonight. 2 outs, no one on the pitch. A check swing at a breaking ball, and he went.
Crowd is not happy about that one. They thought that he held on. From our angle, it did look like he went.
Speaking of scoreboard mistakes, he had it at 43 miles per hour on the breaking ball from Hofberg. That would be a real off-speed.
Be an ephus.
0-1 pitch, dots the inner black, 0-2.
Hofberg is dealing right now. I wouldn't be surprised if they let him go for at least one more inning. I mean, he's throwing nothing but strikes.
It ain't for him to fix it.
A strike away from his second 1-2-3. He misses the zone here with a breaking ball at 78. 1-2 the count to Henry Ford. Ford, the top player in the transfer portal, leaving Virginia and looking for a new home after head coach Brian O'Connor's departure. Breaking ball, skips into Brody Briggs, picks it up. 2-2 the count to Henry Ford.
There's those back-to-back breaking balls in the outer half. And we've seen that kind of shift coast to coast. Could be seeing inside.
2-2 pitch, swing and a miss. He struck him out. Back-to-back 1-2-3 innings for Eric Hofberg after an angler explosion started the game. 6 up and 6 down for the righty. As we end the bottom of the fourth, no hits, 1 strikeout from Hofberg, no runs, no errors, and no one left on base. Let's go to the fifth here at Veterans Field. A brand new ball game. 5-4, the Anglers lead the Hawks.
When it comes to delicious food, the best place to start is with great appliances. And Cam Appliances is your one-stop shop for any budget with brands like Thermador, Viking, Bosch, GE, and so much more. Cam Appliances, sales, delivery, installation, and service in the heart of your home with locations in Hyannis, Nantucket, and Hanover.
Here at the Mass State Lottery, we're known for our monster wins. But there's no bigger win than the $1 billion we provide each year to support all 351 cities and towns in Massachusetts. In our game, we know that supporting local businesses and helping communities is how we all win. Because at the lottery, we're all playing for the home team. The Mass State Lottery. Welcome to the state of winning.
From UNC Wilmington, number 38.
Top of the fifth here at Veterans Field. We got a new pitcher in for the Anglers. Mason Peters' day is done, and that gives way to the righty from North Carolina, Connor Marshburn. A junior for North Carolina Wilmington, excuse me. It says UNCW here. Freshman and sophomore seasons at UNC Wilmington. A total of 34 appearances across 2 seasons. Last year, a 3.51 ERA with 74 innings pitched and impressive 68 strikeouts for the right-hander. So both teams tonight going lefty to righty as he will face the second batter in the Harbor Hawk order to begin, Matt Mura. This is exactly where last inning began for Hyannis before a 4-run, 4-hit explosion from the Harbor Hawks that narrowed what was once a 5-0 lead for Chatham into a 5-4 ball game as we sit here right now. So Peters' day ends for Chatham as the lefty out of Dallas Baptist goes 4 innings, allows 6 hits, 4 runs, all of them earned, walks 3 Harbor Hawks, K's up 2 of them, and allows a game-changing home run to Miles Bailey. First pitch to Mura from Marshburn is a strike on the outer half. 0-1.
This inning starting in the exact same spot that the last did for Hyannis with Matt Mura. He's coming off that really, really strong single.
0-1 pitch is taken for a strike by Mura at 83 miles per hour from Marshburn.
It was just such an impressive and professional at bat the last time he was up. Didn't swing a lot at those pitches outside the zone, kept his swing short and sweet.
0-2 pitch, drifts away from the zone, 1-2 to the Hawaii Rainbow Warrior. Marshburn transitioned into a starter in 2025 for UNC Wilmington and has really improved in that role. I mentioned the 68 strikeouts. That comes up as Mira chops this one right in front of the catcher Matthews. He scoops it up and throws outside his body to first in time for the out. One down for Marshburn, who upped 31 strikeouts in 2024 to that 68 strikeout mark in 2025.
Wow. It's a lot of Ks. That is big strikeout numbers. He couldn't get it that time with Mura, but he is a dangerous, dangerous pitcher, and that's who Chatham needed to put up in this scenario where Hyannis' bats were rolling.
Now the righty Marshburn faces Williamson. First pitch to him, misses him at the knees, 1-0 to the power-hitting lefty playing left field tonight, the UCF Knight Andrew Williamson, trying to join a home run party that Miles Bailey has started. 1-0 pitch, misses inside, similar pitch, opposite location, 2-0 to Williamson.
Something really interesting I feel like with Williamson's swing is that he's got a lot of wrist action. He's got this hitch right before he swings where he kind of snaps his wrist down. I feel like it creates extra speed.
The 2-0 is in the exact same spot with a fastball low and inside. 2 balls, 1 strike to Williamson. You see nothing on the ground with him, Graham. We mentioned all week long, and even Coach Rich Cogliano mentioned that he can get anything in the air, really anything.
His timing is so good.
2-1 pitch is chopped over the head of the pitcher. Marshburn to the shortstop Lane, who dishes to first for the second out. 2 up, 2 down for Connor Marshburn to start the 5th inning.
That might have been the good old announcer's jinx there, Gio, right? As we say, he can't put anything on the ground, he does.
Through 4 games, we were bound for 1. Graham.
That's right, that's right.
And with 36 of these left, folks, I'm sure many more are on the way.
But those are the kind of ground balls that Andrew Williamson will hit. It's kind of those choppers where he gets right just on top of the ball, hits it straight down. It's not one where he'll swing flat and it'll kind of bury into the ground.
I'm going to go ahead and dub that a dual announcer's jinx. First pitch to Ray Velasquez, clips the knees of the power-hitting righty third baseman for Hyannis. 0-1.
I feel like it could be like some BP placebo because just looking back yesterday, he grounded out 3 times.
0-1 pitch. Breaking ball misses outside.
In other words, I'm trying to say you're not jinxing it.
I appreciate that, Max.
Yeah. Keeping our minds clear.
Right.
Velasquez steps back into the box, readjusts his royal blue Harbor Hawk helmet, and rests the bat on his right shoulder. 1-1 pitch. He dodges out of the way, and that ball clips the inner black. Breaking ball just finds the corner. 1-2 to Velasquez. He is 1 for 1 today. He walked in the 4th. Was picked off after a single in the 2nd. 1-2. Drifts outside. 2-2. And the deuces are wild here in the 5th. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. No Harbor Hawks aboard for Ray Velasquez, trying to keep Hyannis' momentum going. 5-4, they trail Chatham. Swing and a miss, he struck him out. Marshburn relieves Peters and goes 3 up, 3 down. A pair of ground outs and a strikeout of Velasquez. No runs, no hits, no errors, no one left on base, and quickly we're to the bottom of the 5th here at Veterans Field. And now it's time to play Beat Bot.
Beat D-Bot.
Beautiful segment here on the Harbor Hawks Baseball Network. We welcome in our producer, Daniel Bottolino.
Hey guys.
His record up to 2-1. So yesterday, D-Bot, you get Jacob McCombs, an outfielder from UC Irvine, guessed correctly, and the Anteaters. Today, your player is Duncan Matthews, starting catcher for Chatham, who attends South Alabama.
South Alabama.
What you got?
That is a tough one, but I can picture their logo. The Jaguars?
3-1 for D-Bot.
Wow.
That is a big one.
That's impressive.
South Alabama
well done.
Jaguars.
Can we ask how you remember it?
Their logo sticks out in my mind for some reason. You know what it is? The Red Sox drafted in the 7th round this past year a player from from South Alabama.
Yeah.
Well, folks, this is what 2 years in the Cape Cod Baseball League and rabid NCAA basketball tournament fandom will do.
And that's how I remember it.
It's impressive.
The South Alabama Jaguars, the winning pick for Daniel Bottolino tonight. That was Beat D-Bot here on the Harbor Hawks Baseball Network. We'll see you tomorrow. See if you can stump D-Bot. I meant Thursday. See you Thursday. League-wide off day tomorrow, folks, as the Harbor Hawks and all 10 teams of the Cape Cod Baseball League will travel up to America's most beloved ballpark for a day at Fenway. A beautiful Cape Cod League tradition. What is tomorrow, Max?
I was going to say tomorrow is laundry day. Because
for Max Schwartzberg.
Yes.
And for me, frankly.
For the first time since I've gotten here.
Okay, I don't think we needed to share that.
All right, sorry.
Now, all parents at home equally disgusted. Not by your lack of laundry, but the fact that you haven't done it. So, yes, your lack of laundry. You should do your laundry.
Thank you, Gio.
Graham did his laundry today, folks.
I did. First of the house, guys.
Laundromat?
No, I went to a buddy's place. Mr. Luke Brenneman, Mr. Foul Ball during a broadcast.
Harwich Mariners broadcaster, fellow Indiana Hoosier with our own Graham Nash.
That's right.
And now the lefty Ace Reese digs in to face Hofberg. The first pitch to him is a strike. Looks like, by my... ...1-0 pitch is outside, 2-0. We've got a new pitcher in for the Harbor Hawks. It's the incoming transfer to USC, the righty Adam Troy. One of 3 players entering the game to have not seen action so far. And he dishes a 2-0 strike to the lefty Ace Reese. Troy previously played at Pepperdine and now going to USC to play for the Trojans.
I'm really surprised that they did not ride with Hofberg for a little bit longer.
2-1 fastball is outside, 3-1. Nobody out, nobody aboard for the Anglers. In the bottom of the 5th inning, they cling to a 5-4 lead over the Harbor Hawks with the fog rolling in from home plate into center field. Troy from the stretch, he deals. Fouled back right at the netting. 3-2 the count to Ace Reese.
I mean, Hofberg was doing so well, 3 up, 3 down for 2 consecutive innings, struck out 4 over that span. But I guess they want to save his arm.
Yeah, sounds like an innings limit, pitch limit, coach's orders. That is at college.
Excuse me, swing, tap towards left field on the 3-2. The left fielder Williamson barely moves as he makes the first out of the bottom of the 5th.
That's an impressive excuse me swing, and you're not wrong. Just tapped the barrel up, but that ball traveled very, very well. About, I don't know, 10, 15 feet in front of the warning track for a type of swing like that.
That's one of those Kirk Gibson last-minute swings that just happened to go a mile. But
truly, excuse me.
Yeah, it went far.
I wish I had that power when I played.
1 out, no one aboard for Isaiah Lane, the second angler to face Adam Troy. First pitch to him, bounces off the glove of Brody Briggs. It's in for a strike.
I believe that hit off the knob. Kind of a weird foul ball.
It was high in at the letters. Thought it might have dropped in, but Max with the vision to see that it hit off the bottom of the barrel for Isaiah Lane. He's down 0-1. Troy set from the stretch, glove at his belt. Kicking a deal. And this one bounces into the dirt, unequivocally a ball. Levels the count 1-1. Troy with the Waves last season only pitched 22 innings, posted a 5.79 ERA as he abbreviates his pre-pitch process. Now comes set from the stretch and deals. 1-1 swung through for Isaiah Lane. 92 miles per hour. He's behind the fastball. 1-2.
Troy, another guy that's good for somewhere between 1 and 3 innings any night. It'll be interesting to see how far they let him go because Hofberg, it felt like they took out a little prematurely.
Lane ready for the 1-2 from Troy. He fires. Fastball misses inside. 2-2.
It was a good pitch and a really good frame from Briggs, but just a little bit low on the zone.
And Troy, we mentioned, one of 3 pitchers to have not seen any time entering this game. Ethan Plog was one of them, and now it's just Chandler Dorsey, who has not been on the mound for Hyannis. 2-2 pitch misses at the knees. A loaded count for Isaiah Lane.
That is a great take. Really good changeup, tumbling below the zone. He starts it right at the belt. It looks like it stops below the zone. Unbelievable take.
1 out, no one aboard for Chatham. But it clings to a 5-4 lead here in the bottom of the 5th. The 3-2, swing and a miss. He struck him out. It's the first of the season in his inaugural appearance. Adam Troy, the incoming USC Trojan,
fight on.
K's up Isaiah Lane for the 2nd out of the 5th.
He did have good strikeout numbers, 27 Ks over 23 and a third in 2025 for Pepperdine. So he can get that done, but he also does a good job of pitching to contact. We saw that with the reset bat. So this guy, he looks like he's got a pretty good toolbox. I'm excited to see him use it.
The lefty Jake Hanley takes a first pitch strike on a breaking ball from Troy. He's down 0-1. Hanley, normally a first baseman, playing left field tonight. He is struck out and flown out, one of the only anglers to not reach base thus far. 0-1. Skips into Briggs. He immediately calls for a new baseball as it's 1-1 to Hanley.
Hanley, again, he's got a lot of raw power, and he's also very disciplined. Hasn't quite gotten the bat to meet the ball in this game, but he can do it at the blink of an eye.
Troy set from the stretch. He kicks and throws. Misses at the letters. 2 balls, 1 strike to Hanley.
That's specifically where he's really good, Gio. The top of the zone. He is not going to bite on any of those. If you want to get him to swing and miss, you've got to throw a breaking ball that dives below the zone at the last minute.
2-1 upcoming from Troy. Similar pitch, almost identical location, miss high at the letters, and it's 3-1 to Jake Hanley.
I'd see a challenge pitch right here.
2 outs, no one aboard. It'd be a due time for it. The 3-1. Low and in the zone. It misses the knees of Hanley. He tosses the bat towards the angler dugout and jogs to first base with a 2-out walk.
Only the 3rd walk on the day for Indiana pitching staff. It's been pretty clean, but with a new pitcher on the mound, you've got to limit the walks. Troy has to come back with a really good at-bat here. Can't get into that zone of just continuing to throw balls because the opposing team is going to make you throw a strike. They are not going to lift the bat off their shoulder until you show them that you can hit the zone.
It's the first base runner for the A's in the last 8 batters, and Noah Miller will try to make it count. First pitch to him is a breaking ball that misses at the knees. 1 aboard in this inning, 2 outs. Bottom of the 5th, it's 5-4 Chatham. With a go-ahead run at the plate, or rather, no, not the go-ahead run. That'd be for Hyannis. A run to stretch the lead. 1-0 pitch, misses at the letters. The runner thought about the steal. Hanley retreats back after getting about a 1/4 of the way to second. And now reassumes his lead with Bailey covering first. Troy looks back. He pitches exclusively from the stretch. 2-0 offering. Swing and a miss for Miller. Healthy cut at a fastball that guns at 92 miles per hour. 2-1 to the switch-hitting DH that has exclusively swung it from the right side tonight. Couple of strikeouts so far for Miller. Troy checks up on first, and diving in safely is Hanley. Hard to check up on first base, a righty that deals from the stretch. The windup not that much easier, but he's got to make a full torque to get in position to throw. 2 outs, a man aboard. Troy nods for his sign, the 2-1. This is high at the letters. That's been his miss so far with 91 on the fastball, 3-1 to Miller.
And it's been the fastball that's been missing. His breaking ball has located pretty well, but the fastball is just missing a little bit high.
Miller takes a breath, now steps into his crouch, and readies for the 3-1. Off goes the runner, swing and a miss at strike 3. Maybe got a piece of it. Is that was 3-1, excuse me. So he does take a strike as stealing the base Hanley. It's his first of the night, and the first of the night for Chatham.
There's the breaking ball. We'll see if he goes back to the heater.
Now 3-2. This one is lifted in the air, high and deep to left field. Williamson on the track. He makes the catch to quell the threat there. A 0 in the bottom of the 5th inning for Chatham. As I can't remember his name. As the pitcher as Troy faces one above the minimum in the bottom of the 5th. Still a 0 on the scoreboard in the last 3 frames for Chatham, as they go down with 1 walk and a couple of flyouts and a strikeout. And that brings us to the top of the 6th inning in a fog-ridden Veterans Field. Back at Veterans Field in time for the top of the 6th between Chatham and Hyannis. It's the hometown Anglers with a 5-4 lead over the Harbor Hawks, who send 5, 6, and 7 to the plate, beginning with the player that changed the tides of this game in one fell swoop, a 3-run shot for Miles Bailey back in the 4th inning, and he sets in to face Connor Marshburn, the righty, for the first time. First pitch to him is low and at the knees. Fastball misses 1-0.
Guys, we talked yesterday after he struck out 4 times that he's got a great opportunity to come into this game and prove to scouts and college coaches that he's got the mettle to have a good game after a poor one.
1-0 pitch clips the knees of Bailey. 1-1 the count.
And he's hit 2 balls. One of them was a foot shy of going out. The other went out. So I think he's done a good job of responding after that 4K night.
A 313-foot fly out and right for Bailey, who shuffles inside at a fastball that misses on the inner corner. 1-2.
Just the response is so impressive, especially after that one, the 313-foot flyout. You smoke it, nothing to show for it.
Marshburn waves off the first sign from his battery. Duncan Matthews comes set from the stretch and deals. And the fastball misses outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Miles Bailey, who stands at a towering 6'4", 257, reflective of both of his drives in this game, high and mighty. Nobody on, nobody out. The pitch, swing and a miss, strike 3. Bailey was 0 for 4 last night with 4 Ks, but here's his first of this game. 1 out here in the top of the 6th.
And Marshburn starting to find his momentum. He struck out both of his last 2 batters in the hardest part of the Hyannis order, Miles Bailey and Ray Velasquez. So he looks a lot more comfortable now and is throwing like he's much more comfortable.
Second strikeout for Marshburn. 4th for Angler. Pitching is Chris Rembert. Takes a first pitch strike at a fastball. 1 out, nobody aboard for the Harbor Hawks. Marshburn picking up the pace here to Rembert. Ready for the 0-1. Swing and a miss. A loopy swing at the breaking ball. 0-2. Rembert, one of the more recent additions to the Harbor Hawks roster, arriving mid-game on Sunday against Harwich. 0-2. Fastball misses outside. 1-2 as Rembert gets one back.
That was a really good pitch. Good eye from Rembert to not swing.
He's ready for the 1-2 from Marshburn. Here it comes, and he grounds this to third base. A clutch and a throw from Ace Reese, and it gets Rembert for the 2nd out.
Well, baseball's a game of responses. How can you respond to your competitor? Hyannis did a really good job responding to the hot bats by putting in a pitcher that could match the hot bats. And then all of a sudden, Hyannis's bats catch fire, and just at the drop of a hat, the A's do a similar thing. They found a pitcher that has slowed down a really hot streak.
Charlie Bates takes a first pitch inside on the fastball. He's ahead 1-0, and he is trying to dodge a 1-2-3 inning for the Harbor Hawks. Be the first one since the third. Now here in the sixth, they've cut it to 5-4. 1-0 pitch, fouled back straight into the netting. 1-1 to Charlie Bates. Starting shortstop for the Stanford Cardinal. Bates, a California kid. We've got two of those on our broadcast tonight. Bates, a native of Palo Alto, and a lifelong Stanford fan, fulfilling his dream of playing for the Cardinal. 1-1 pitch is chopped towards short on a hop fielded by Lane. He boots it, and he bounces it into first base as it skips by Jackson. Bates is in safely, trying to advance, and he will be awarded second base on the ball that passes by Daniel Jackson. We'll deliberate the scoring on that and get it to you as soon as we have it. Likely an error on either one of Isaiah Lane or Daniel Jackson. 2 outs. Bates is aboard at second straight time reaching base.
Bates is a guy that runs every single pitch, every single hit out. He sprints to that first base bag, and that's exactly why if the team makes a mistake, you want to be there ready for it.
Yeah, you got to love the hustle from the Harbor Hawks this inning. Even the Rembert ground out just speaks to the type of team these guys are.
So with 2 outs and Bates aboard, up comes Hayden Federico, switching to the left side of the plate for the first time tonight. First ball to him is a fastball that catches the outer corner for a strike. Ruling on the Bates single. Advances to second on a throwing error by Isaiah Lane. So Jackson not faulted for the ball that passes him as it was in the dirt. 0-1 is tapped by the pitcher Marshburn to Lane. He gets a chance at redemption. He throws to first in time for the out, and he's made up for it. Marshburn faces one above the minimum as Bates does reach second base. They go down with a couple of ground outs and a strikeout outside of that. And in relief of Mason Peters, Connor Marshburn has faced one above the minimum. No runs, 1 hit, no 1 man left on base, and 1 error in the field from Chatham. And we will go to our sideline reporter, Ava Fernandez.
Hi guys, I'm here with Kim, who's actually renting a Cape Cod rental right
folks.
here, and they have this really cool bench in the back of their backyard. As you can see, it just overlooks the field. What is the feeling like being up here? This is such a cool spot.
Oh, it's awesome. It's my husband and son's dream. So we rented this a couple of years ago, and we thought we have to come out here when the teams are home and have a little dugout party and. Yeah,
it's awesome.
Lots of fun.
And how many games have you guys been to this year? Is this your first one?
We just got here Sunday, and we've been to 2 games so far.
Oh my gosh! And there's games every day, so you have plenty to go
yes.
to.
And there are 2 while we're here, right here in the backyard.
Oh, that's awesome.
So,
What's your favorite thing about being back here?
Oh my goodness! You know what? This whole baseball vibe, because we're a big baseball family, is so much fun. And then it's sort of like the beach meets baseball.
Oh,
so
the beach is
heaven.
awesome. That's like the
heaven
best.
for us.
Yes, the best. Well, thank you so much, and enjoy the rest of your vacation.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ava. An interesting story about a special pair of seats here at Veterans Field. A prime view over the third base line on the beautiful grass that is Veterans Field. Chatham, one of the original 4 squads in the Cape Cod Baseball League, along with your Hyannis Harbor Hawks, formerly, at that point, the Hyannis Mets. Osterville had a team, and so did Falmouth, the Commodores, Anglers, and Harbor Hawks. 3 of the oldest squads on Cape Cod, as we've got ourselves a new pitcher to begin the bottom of the 6th, with Hyannis trailing Chatham 5-4. It's Carson Yassa, right-hander, who last came in against Wareham, closed the game on opening day. A 7-2 victory for the Harbor Hawks. He only pitched 1 inning, allowed 0 runs on no hits, 1 walk, and no strikeouts. And now, Yassa comes in again with the Anglers, sending 7, 8, and 9 to the dish after a pair of innings in which Hyannis pitching only faced 1 above the minimum. It's Jackson Freeman, the left-handed hitting right fielder, to the dish first for the Anglers in this 6th inning. He scored after a double in the 2nd. That was the barrage of runs for Chatham, a 4 spot for the Anglers in that one, as they took a 5-0 lead over Hyannis that was soon erased by Miles Bailey and Brody Briggs. The righty Jassa takes a breath and deals his first ball. And fastball catches the inner corner at 96. There's the gas of Carson Yasa, 0-1.
This is the third straight righty that Chatham has faced from Hyannis. Got to feel a little comfortable with that, but still the arsenal's going to be different.
That's after a lefty started in Ethan Plog, 0-1. Another fastball, another strike for Yasa. More gas at 95, 0-2.
Feel like we're going to be seeing a lot of fastballs this inning. He has a deadly heater. See if he can tunnel it with one of those breaking balls.
Yasa, a gargantuan 6'7", 225. An imposing force atop the bump. 0-2. Breaking ball, catches the outer corner, strike 3. So from 96 to 95 to 80 to down Jackson Freeman in 3 pitches. 1 away here in the bottom of the 6th.
There's a filthy changeup from Yasa. And the tunnel that we were talking about, he starts it over the middle of the plate just like the fastballs. The speed gets him out in front, but he goes down looking. Beautiful spot on the outside corner.
Brody Briggs initiates a mound visit after what was a positive at-bat. This could be a matchup thing as Daniel Jackson comes to the plate. Briggs could have seen something with Jackson's approach at the dish that he wants to tip Yasa off about after he sent Freeman down in 3 pitches. Jackson up for a 3rd time in this game. He's been hit tonight and has struck out. With 1 out, the pitch. Nearly catches the inner corner. 95 miles per hour on the fastball from Yasa, 1-0.
So good. That heater is looking like it's untouchable. He is just pounding it in the zone.
Righty on righty, the pitch. 1-0 offering from Yasa is low for ball 2. Back-to-back fastballs from Yasa, the rising redshirt sophomore at Nebraska, and the Thornton native last pitch in summer for the Walnut Creek Crawdads in the California Collegiate League. And the 2-0 offering is fouled back into the playground here in Chatham. Daniel Jackson, the Georgia Bulldog. So Big Ten on SEC crime here, as the infield plays him slightly deep with the middle infield of McKay at second. And baits it short with their toes on the outfield grass. He swings through a fastball here, does Jackson. 2-2 the count.
How about 8 strikeouts as well for Hyannis? It started out a little bit slower. They've picked it up. Just speaks to the pitching in the bullpen. We knew it was good. It's continued to be solid.
Jassa ready from the stretch. His 2-2. Nearly hits Jackson. It bounces into the catcher Briggs after starting in the righty batter's box. Instead, it loads the count to 3-2.
The machine hit right off the face protector. No reaction.
Nerves of steel for Brody Briggs.
Wow.
With 1 out, no one aboard. Bottom of the 5th, a 5-4 Chatham lead. 3-2 is lifted high in the air, deep to left field. Both the center fielder Williamson and Mira on it, and that ball is going to leave. The 3rd home run of the night for both sides, the 2nd for Chatham, and this time it's Daniel Jackson leaving the yard from left center field. The Anglers stretch their advantage 6-4 here in the 6th.
Well, that's the issue with throwing gas, is that if a player's able to square you up, then he can take you yard. That's exactly what happened there. Daniel Jackson, really good instincts, really good reflexes, and really good timing.
2 of the 3 home runs tonight for Miles Bailey and Daniel Jackson have been mile-high drives that have just sailed to left center field. Now Yasa's first pitch to Duncan Matthews, a foul ball into the Hyannis bullpen on the first base line.
Those both would not have left at McKeon Park, those ones to left field. Safe to say that's above that 29-6 we've been talking about this week.
Maybe at 40. 0-1. Skips into Briggs, check swing, and Matthews did not go around per the first base umpire Carl Rodriguez. 0-1 to the catcher for Chatham. Comes to the plate with a new score, 6-4 the new lead off 6 hits for the A's. Yasa breathes the 0-1. This one eclipsed the knees of Matthews. 95 miles per hour on the gun. The fastball has 1-2 the count now to Matthews, who steps back into the box. Taps his bat towards Yasa. With his mitt at his left pec, he brings it to his chest and is set from the stretch. 1-2. Breaking ball, nearly catches the inner corner, instead 2-2. Liasa, this is his lone mistake thus far of the Cape League season. Closed out the opening day win over Wareham in one inning outing with just one walk. Faces one above the minimum. 2-2. Nearly hits Matthews. He skips out of the way as the ball drops inside. 3-2.
Now we get to see how he responds. After making a mistake, we talked about this all week long as well. The next pitch is the most important one.
3-2. Sorted down the first base line, foul. Maybe a late swing there. Certainly a late swing there from Duncan Matthews. Lucky to get a piece of it. A wicked curve on that baseball. One out, no one aboard. 3-2 pitch from Yasa. Fouled over the netting. We'll do it again.
Matthews has a very interesting approach. He kind of puts his weight on his front foot as the pitcher starts his motion and then will go back to his back foot. Never seen that. It's like a weight transfer.
Yasa has his sign. Top of the order on deck. 3-2. Tapped back to the backstop. We'll do it again as Matthews able to stay alive on each of the last two fastballs from Yasa that come in at 95 miles per hour. The velocity has remained strong as ever from Yasa. First pitch comes in at 96. Every other fastball hasn't dipped below 94 for the tall righty. His 3-2. Breaking ball, catches inside, it's strike three. A punch-out Duncan Matthews. It's the second K that flanks the home run from Jackson. 2 gone here in the 6th.
And we wondered how he would respond. How about in a very strong way? Right back to the strikeout. That was a great breaking ball. Started high, finished low. Totally crossed up Matthews after a long at-bat.
Back to the top of the order for Ethan Mendoza. His fiery start to the night was quelled with a flyout in the 4th, a homer and a single before that. First pitch to him, swings through it, 0-1, with 2 outs and no one aboard. Mendoza, the Texas Longhorn middle infielder, playing second tonight for Chatham, has played in every game. Only 1 RBI coming into the night on the season. Since then, he's got 2. 0-1 offering, dropped by Briggs. 1-1. Mendoza takes a moment, taps the dirt behind the plate with his bat, twirls it towards Yasa, who peers into Briggs for his sign. Mendoza in his crouch, the righty on righty matchup here. 1-1 pitch. Right down Broadway, 1-2.
That was really good. Took some speed off that one coming in at 86. When you've got a guy that can throw 96 and then also controlled 86, that is a deadly duo.
Exactly the combination that struck out Freeman to start the inning. 1-2 ball fouled first base side, well out of play. We'll do it again. With 2 outs and no one aboard, Daniel Jackson's home run, the lone run so far in this inning. It's 6-4 Chatham as the Anglers have at least restored 40% of their 5-run lead that they started this game with. Yasa set from the stretch. He looks at the batter and comes home. Breaking ball just dribbles in, and it's going to miss the plate, but that one way outside Mendoza to start. 2-2 the new count to the righty.
Really good tunnel right there. He started the breaking ball up like that fastball that was just fouled back, but that one just off the plate, but the idea is right.
A jarring difference from his gas. Let's see if he goes to it here. 2-2. And he does. He misses at the letters. 3-2. Load the count to Mendoza with 2 outs and no one on.
Still coming in at 96. He is consistently up there in the mid-high 90s. That is going to be so hard to touch, especially, like you said, Max, if he can tunnel it, that is going to be lethal.
The 3-2. A breaking ball fouled back into the netting. We'll do it again. And Yasa brings that heat with a somewhat laxed motion. It's not like Tsubasa Tami, who uses every muscle in his body to throw very hard. He topped out at 92 when he came in yesterday. But Yasa throws it somewhat nonchalantly from a high arm slot. He leans back, uses his 6'7" height to his advantage, and it comes out firing. 3-2. It's tapped softly to the second baseman, McKay. A long charge. He scoops it with a mitt hand and gets the out with Bailey at first. Yasa brings out the gas. 2 strikeouts and a ground out, but it's Daniel Jackson's home run that has the Anglers up 6-4. That's the lone hit of the inning, also the only run. No errors in the field and no one left on base. We head to the 7th at Veterans Field with a new score, 6-4 Chatham over Hyannis.
Owning a home means you can protect your family and put down roots in a community you care about. It gives you a place to celebrate the joys of daily living and be together during tough times. But for many on Cape Cod, home ownership is slipping further out of reach. Help make sure the American dream is available to the teachers, public safety professionals, and all the other people who make the Cape a special place. Visit capehousingmatters.org to find out more.
Just 9 outs remain for the Harbor Hawks to erase a 6-4 Chatham advantage here in the top of the 7th inning. It's Brody Briggs, Ryan McKay, and Matt Mira up for Hyannis, as Chatham has just stretched the lead 6-4 with a Daniel Jackson home run. Brody Briggs, the first batter to face Connor Marshburn here in the top of the 7th. The righty set atop the bump, he deals. And a first pitch fastball dots the zone at 89, 0-1.
Briggs coming off a good last at bat as well. He got a single in the 4th during that big 4th inning for Hyannis. So he's got a little momentum now.
Next pitch to him, misses low and inside, 1-1.
Showing bunt there, pulled it back at the last second. But now that third baseman, Ace Reese, pinching in a little bit.
Briggs ready from the lefty box. The righty Marshburn nods for his sign and deals. A 1-1 pitch misses the knees of Briggs. 2-1 to the Arizona State Sun Devil catcher. He's alternated starting nights with Vaughn Lackey, who remained in the dugout for the entirety of Sunday's win over Harwich. It came in last night for Hyannis. 2-1 pitch is grounded towards the first baseman Jackson. He throws to his pitcher Marshburn, who taps on the bag for the first out. 1 down here in the 7th, and that rewinds the order for Hyannis. The second baseman Ryan McKay steps in for a 3rd time. He is 0 for 3 tonight. Or rather, 1 for 3 tonight. A single in that first inning, but was doubled off in the double play for Chatham. Now he'll try to beat Marshburn. He'll be the first Hyannis batter to do so since taking over for Mason Peters in the 4th. Rather, after the 4th. First pitch to McKay. Misses outside with the raking ball, 1-0 to the Spartan second baseman.
McKay's gotten good contact today. After that single, a fly out and a pop out, but still he's been making contact with a lot of baseball. He just hasn't been able to get a big one yet.
Next pitch to him, misses, and it's 2-0. Marshburn, I don't think we're doing enough talking about how good of a job he's done in relief of Mason Peters, who unfortunately had his good out for him, had his good outing spoiled by Miles Bailey and co. 2-0 pitch to McKay, misses inside. But Marshburn has done arguably better so far than Peters ever did.
It's because in this last school year, Marshburn transitioned to a starting role. He was a reliever and then became a starter, really improved there, kind of like Mason Peters, who led off, did.
3-0 deal to McKay, and he barely moves the bat as the pitch misses inside. It's a 1-out walk for Ryan McKay on 4 pitches, and the Harbor Hawks have a runner aboard here in the 7th.
It's really interesting because you take two guys who are used to being relievers and coming in mid-game, and you put one in a starting role, and then you take the other who had been starting now for a while, put him back in his relieving role, but he's used to going longer innings. So it's easy for him to make that transition back to the relief role, but now he's also got the stamina from starting in 2025.
McKay creeps off first for the righty, Matt Mura, the center fielder. Chops it over the pitcher, Marshburn. Flip to second for one. Throw over to first in time. It's a second double play for Chatham of the night. They go 4-6-3 for the twin killing. And that gets Marshburn out of the 7th inning as he faces the minimum. Brody Briggs down with a ground out. McKay walks and Mura grounds into a double play. No hits, no runs, no errors, and just no one left on base. It's time to stretch here at Veterans Field. To the bottom of the 7th we go. 6-4, the score in favor of the hometown A's.
Here at the Mass State Lottery, we know there's no bigger win than the $1 billion we provide each year to support all 351 cities and towns in Massachusetts. Now that's how we all win. The Mass State Lottery. Welcome to the state of winning.
This week we've been working a lot with doing play-by-plays, just doing behind-the-scenes stuff with sports broadcasting, which I never really realized how much went into it, but it's been really cool.
They've grown a lot. I've never really done like a program like this before, so like seeing all the behind-the-scenes has like really grown.
I've learned how to really just gain confidence in my play-by-play speaking, and I've learned more terms here when it comes to directing and producing, and I've just had a great time with John Rook. Doing the play-by-play stuff and all that, being with a guy like John Rook, understanding what like the major kind of entails doing this camp, just really a preview for what you do here at Dean or any other college doing broadcasting, so I'm definitely more prepared to make this a job of mine.
Hope you got up and stretched, Harbor Hawks fans, as in timeless Angler tradition takes place here at Veterans Field, the one they call the Paragon of Pronunciation. Veteran PA announcer Peter Burns sings Take Me Out to the Ball Game with the kids at the ballpark here in Chatham. Their Anglers have a 6-4 lead over the Hyannis Harbor Hawks as we begin the bottom of the 7th inning. The right-hander Henry Ford comes to the dish, playing center field tonight, up for a fourth time in this ball game. After a hot start, a walkout in the 4th, in his lone plate appearance since. Back up here in the 7th to face the tall righty Carson Yassa, who allowed a home run to Daniel Jackson last inning that stretched the Angler lead to 2. His first pitch is a breaking ball that finds the zone. 0-1 to Henry Ford. And Ford, the #1 player in the transfer portal out of the University of Virginia. One of 7 Cavaliers to enter the portal. 0-1 pitch is a breaking ball. That one misses, 1-1. One of 7 Cavaliers to enter after head coach Brian O'Connor departs, along with Hyannis Harbor Hawk left-handed pitcher Evan Blanco, who is still homeless along with Ford. 1-1 pitch misses at the letters, 2-1. From, I should say, schoolless, not homeless. They do have host families, wonderful ones at that, here in Chatham and Hyannis, respectively, that take care of all players around the Cape League. 2-1. Nearly dots the zone, but misses inside. 3-1.
That was a really good pitch. It must have just been outside of the zone in that buffer area, because that fastball came in what looked like to be a very good spot.
Jassa guns at 95 miles per hour. 3-1. Low at the knees of Ford. He takes ball 4, and the Anglers, with no one out, have a runner aboard in the 7th.
Really good night for Henry Ford. 2 walks, a double, and a strikeout. But that strikeout, pretty non-existent in your mind if you've got 2 walks and a double to go along with it.
Well, we've seen a lot of the breaking ball changeup today. We're going to probably see that in this at-bat. Try to get that double play, get right back to the bats.
And up comes the SEC Newcomer of the Year at Mississippi State, Ace Reese, with his teammate Henry Ford on first. The pitch from Yassa drifts inside of the fastball, 1-0 to the left-handed Reese. He got to Chatham yesterday and dazzled in his debut for the Anglers. 1-0 pitch. Fouled right back at us into the screen, 1-1.
Coming in at 95, he's still throwing gas, and he's still trying to go for those punch-outs. He's a strikeout thrower, but he just got that one home run on his record, and then the walk. That fastball, it's found the zone consistently for him, though.
1-1 is a high fastball that misses at the head of Reese and outside. 2-1 to the lefty, who came in yesterday against Wareham. 5 at-bats, 2 hits, 2 RBI, 2 strikeouts, but it was a 9-2 Chatham win for the Anglers' first of the year. Yasa nods for his sign and delivers. 2-1 offering inside, and it's 3-1.
Briggs doing his best right now with these frame jobs. He's just not getting any leeway. Brickta behind the plate being strict on these calls, and he's done really well so far, making the right calls.
No one out, Ford on first. 3-1 pitches, fouled back into the netting. And 3-2 loaded count. That's a couple that have come right at our tent. And Graham, I know you've been ready for any foul ball that comes your way to try and match your Hoosier teammate Luke Brenneman.
That's right.
With an incredible foul ball catch at an Indiana baseball game this year. Yasa's 3-2 on the way. Breaking ball misses upstairs. A couple of walks in a row for Yasa have both Ford and Reese on base with no one out.
This is where you want to see the Harbor Hawks respond, as looks like Blaze heading back out there.
Blaze Martinez, pitching coach for Hyannis, making his second mound visit of the night. He visited with Ethan Plog early into his start as he was shelled for 5 hits and 4 runs. There is action in the bullpen on the first base line for Hyannis. A righty getting loose for Mitch Carricker. As Coach Martinez walks off the mound, his infield splits as well. And Yasa left to his lonesome. A very tall one at that, 6'7", 225. Football measurables from the pitcher. And up comes Isaiah Lane, the right-handed shortstop for Chatham. Lane has reached on a fielder's choice in the first, walked in the barrage of runs for Chatham in the second, 4th spot for the A's, and struck out most recently in the 5th. A pair of walks have Ford on second and Reese on first. The infield for Hyannis shifts the righty to pull. From the stretch, glove at his belt, Yasa ready and deals. He shows the bunt, and Lane shoots it back behind the dish as he was off to the races, and as were the runners along the base paths. After all that, it's 0-1. Lane looks to his third base coach for his sign, steps back into the box, taps the dish, and holds the bat high above his royal blue helmet. Yasa appears at second, kicks and deals, shows the bunt again, and this one misses the zone, but is in for a strike as his bat, of course, was across the zone. Nobody out and 2 on.
We talked about this a little bit earlier today. It'll be interesting to see if they want to try it with 2 strikes, although Lane, the 4-hitter, I would doubt that they're going to try to put the bunt play on with the risk of the strikeout.
No one out and 2 aboard. 6-4 Chatham lead. Lane keeps the bat on the shoulder here. 0-2, strike 3. Breaking ball catches the inner corner. It's the 3rd K of the outing for Carson Yasa and the first out of the 7th.
How about 5 backwards Ks for Hyannis pitching? They get him swinging, they get him looking.
And 10 total. Already back in double digits. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's 11 strikeouts game 1, 13 game 2, 9 yesterday, and we're already at 10 in game 4.
First pitch to Jake Hanley from Yasa, skied over the press box out of play. 1 out, and still Ford and Reese along the base paths, with the former on second, the latter on first. The Hoosier Hanley comes to the plate for a 4th time today. The lefty walked in his last appearance. Yasa's 0-1. Here's a breaking ball, catches outside corner, 0-2. And talk about responding, Max. It would be something for Yasa to settle back in after a pair of walks in this inning and give his Harbor Hawks a chance with just 6 outs remaining to erase this 2-run deficit they face. 0-2. Misses at the knees, 1-2 to Jake Hanley. He steps out of the box, angles the bat towards Yasa momentarily, staring down the pitcher as he brings it to his left shoulder. Yasa peers at second and deals. Pitch in the dirt, stopped by Briggs. Count levels, 2 balls, 2 strikes. And Graham, you mentioned Briggs. He has been great tonight defensively, and that is what Mitch Carricker lauded all week with the Arizona State Sun Devil.
I mean, they need it. They need a guy that's defensive that can threaten the base runners. He had an unbelievable number of putouts in 2025 at Arizona State and had half the starts.
2-2 shot right down in front of the catcher, Briggs. He goes for the out at second, and he sails the runner, but he got him on the tag. What a play from Charlie Bates to sail in above a sliding Ace Reese and get at least 1 out on a bang-bang play as Lane reaches it first on the fielder's choice, and Ford moves to third with 2 outs.
That's why you have Briggs in there, because he's aggressive. He can make those kinds of plays, those kinds of throws. The second that ball was dribbled in front of him, he pointed his glove at second, telling A, Yasa to get out of the way, and B, Bates to cover second, because he wanted to cut down a runner that could be in scoring position.
My mistake, folks. It's Hanley on first, and this is Noah Miller, the switch-hitting DH, batting righty, who outs the pitch, breaking ball that clips the inner corner, 0-1. Miller up for a 3rd time in this game. He's struck out twice and flown out. He's got runners on the corners. Chatham up 6-4 here in the bottom of the 7th, trying to stretch their lead over the Harbor Hawks. 0-1 is chopped towards short. Bates goes the short way with McKay and ends the threat there. So Chatham puts him on with a couple of walks to start and nobody out, but it's Carson Yasa that gets the better of the Anglers there. He sends the next 3 down in a row. No hits, 2 left on base, no errors in the field, and no changes in the score. We head to the 8th inning. It's 6-4 Chatham here at Veterans Field.
Your future begins at Dean College.
Make a difference.
Leave your mark.
Break the mold.
Be a leader.
Achieve unimagined heights.
Believe in yourself.
Make lifelong friends.
This is your time.
Your place.
Your home. Your Dean.
It all starts here at Dean College.
Just 6 outs remain for the Harbor Hawks to erase a 2-run deficit that they face to the hometown Chatham Anglers here at Veterans Field. It's 6-4. The difference has been the long ball tonight for the A's. It was a leadoff homer from Ethan Mendoza that started a 2-inning track meet where Chatham put up 5 runs unanswered. And although Hyannis clawed back into it in the 4th inning, a Daniel Jackson solo shot in the 6th has Chatham up by a pair, with the Harbor Hawks sending 3, 4, and 5 to the dish, beginning with Andrew Williamson, the power-hitting lefty outfielder, to face Connor Marshburn. Giovanni Collada, Graham Nash, and Max Schwartzberg here on the Harbor Hawks Baseball Network. And we have a new pitcher into the game for Chatham.
Your attention, now pitching for Chatham.
Looking for the new pitcher, folks. Of course, it's always difficult with rosters in flux. The new pitcher is Isaac Brown for Chatham. A righty comes in to face Andrew Williams as his potential first victim.
Williamson, an opportunity here for the Harbor Hawks. They had some trouble in the long relief appearance for the Anglers. And, of course, Williamson
First pitch to Williamson from Brown is a ball outside. And the lefty steps back into the box. There are a couple of outs tonight. A strikeout and 2 ground outs. 1-0. Misses high into the letters. 2-0.
He's going to be sitting dead red right here, ahead in the count. Of course, all you need is the base runner. Bloop and a blast ties it. You got the big guns coming up, but an even bigger gun at the plate.
Brown takes a breath and deals. 2-0 is fierily fouled back to the netting by Williamson.
Well, there it is.
2-1. He wanted to put that one onto Old Harbor Road in deep straightaway center, overlooking Veterans Field from that distance.
You got to love the confidence of Brown, challenging him.
Nobody out, nobody on. Brown's 2-1. Misses upstairs at the letters, 3-1 to Williamson. And he'd be keen to take a walk here, Max, given that the Harbor Hawks would send the tying run to the plate. You know he's always going to be aggressive.
If he gets his pitch, he won't hold back.
3-1 is skied deep to right field. Freeman back at the wall. He leaps and he makes the grab. He robs Williamson of his second home run. Full extension over the wall. A highlight reel first out here in the 8th.
Wow, all you can do is tip your cap.
And Jackson Freeman with a display of athleticism that keeps a run off the board for Hyannis. Williamson sent that ball 315 of 314 feet into right field. Instead, it's Freeman who gets the first out of the inning. Here's Ray Velasquez to face the new pitcher. His first pitch is inside, and fastball misses. And Brown is down 1-0.
Williamson has been literally this close to home runs multiple times tonight. And if you can't see, this close, like inches to a home run twice. That is unbelievable.
1-0 pitch skips in the dirt. 2-0 to Velasquez, a former Vanderbilt Commodore, now Austin Peay Governor. Singled in the second, was picked off by Mason Peters, walked and then scored in the 4th, struck out in the 5th. Up here in the 8th, 2-0 is launched into center field. Ford back to the track. He comes in and makes the catch for the second out. Couple of fly balls. That one, of course, tailed up in the air. Williamson's was over the wall. 2 outs any way you spin it.
Hyannis getting good contact. They're really hitting the ball hard, but they're just not quite getting it right. I mean, Williamson did. He got it very much so right, but Freeman just made a better play. But there, Velasquez made really good contact, just a little bit underneath it still, just scooping it a little bit.
Up comes Miles Bailey to avoid the 1-2-3 with 2 outs. The pitch right over the heart. Misses outside. That one had some sidewinding movement on it. 1-0. The tall, power-hitting lefty sets in the 1-0. He's chopped first base line. It tails foul. 2 outs, nobody aboard for Bailey, who changed this game in Hyannis' favor in the 4th inning with one swing of the bat. A 3-run shot into the left center field alley. It went a mile high and carried over the wall. His first homer of this Cape League campaign. 1-1 is a strike on the outer black. 1-2 to Bailey.
Bailey's had a couple of those in the past couple games that he's gotten really frustrated with. Some breaking balls that just catch the zone that he clearly doesn't agree with, but he's just got to take it and lock back in.
Brown with a breath, glove at his belt. He deals. Ball skips into Matthews. 57 of 60 feet. The catcher blocks it. 2-2 to Bailey. Bailey, a freshman All-American at Florida State. A prolific season that saw him hit 19 home runs and 56 RBI for the Seminoles, who were bounced in the NCAA regionals. Deuces wild. 2-2 pitch is lifted in the air Right center field, Ford calls off Freeman and makes the play. 3 flyouts, all of them different. A couple short to Henry Ford at center field. The first one from Williamson, a long ball and a robbery from Jackson Freeman in right field for Chatham. They send him down in order, and we go to the bottom of the 8th. No runs, no hits, no errors, and no one left on base for the Harbor Hawks. Just 3 outs remain in the top of the 9th. Let's see if Chatham can compound this lead. It's 6-4 A's headed to the bottom of the 8th.
If you can dream it, if you can cruise in it, if you can summer in it, fish from it, or take it for a day at the beach, we can protect it. The Baldwin Group, protecting the possible.
Hasn't been a ton of training when it comes to bat speed or products for players to be able to train bat speed. You can improve your bat speed and reach your goals working 10 to 15 minutes a day on this a couple of times a week. That's a no-brainer for every player.
Cape Cod 5 is proud to be the official banking partner of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Cape Cod 5 offers a broad range of financial products and services tailored for every stage in your financial journey. Reach out to us. We're here to help.
Chatham up 6-4 over Hyannis here at Veterans Field as we enter the bottom of the 8th inning here in Chatham. It's Noah Miller, Jackson Freeman, Daniel Jackson due up for the Anglers. They'll face a new arm for Mitch Carricker and company. It's Eddie Copper, the South Carolina incoming transfer to Charlotte after 1 season with the Gamecocks. He has been in this year. He came in the Wareham game on opening day, pitched 1 inning, allowed 1 hit and a run, 1 strikeout in that 11 strikeout performance for Harbor Hawk pitching, a performance, guys, that they're close to matching now with 10 Ks. Despite the scoreboard, Hyannis pitching has continued to shine.
Well, all season long, and I say all season long as if we haven't played 3 games, but it's been the pitching that has really lit the torch. And, of course, the offense today is starting to come to life, but the pitching not having their backs throughout the entire night. But the one thing that has been consistent with the pitching has been swing and miss stuff, and also the stumping we mentioned. 5 of those strikeouts were looking.
My apologies, folks. It'll be Jackson Freeman, Daniel Jackson, and Duncan Matthews. 7, 8, 9 due up for the Anglers, beginning with the lefty right fielder Jackson Freeman, who comes off an acrobatic robbery of Andrew Williamson's surefire home run in right center field. And this is a situation much like we saw from Williamson in that first home game against Harwich, where he had a sliding grab in the outfield and then came up to bat to begin the next inning. Of course, it wasn't back-to-back plays. Copper's first ball fouled back over the press box, 0-1.
I was going to bring that up, Gio, because that then turned into a walk, which we were really surprised by because adrenaline's pumping after a play like that, but they were able to settle down. Now the question is, can Freeman do the same?
You saw Freeman in attack mode there, first pitch swinging. 0-1 offering is outside, levels the count at a ball and a strike.
Really good take there outside the whole way. That shows that he has calmed down. If the adrenaline was still going, probably would have at least bit a little bit.
1-1 pitch, swing and a miss from Freeman. He chopped at a breaking ball, loaned at the knees. 1-2. No one out, no one on. Freeman the first batter of the bottom of the 8th. It's 6-4 Chatham here at Veterans Field. Copper's 1-2. He smoked first base line, but foul. He just turned on an inside breaking ball and deposited it into the playground in right on the first base side here at Veterans Field.
Last time that Freeman was the leadoff batter in an inning, he turned it into a double. So he's comfortable in this scenario and just made hard contact.
1-2, fouled straight back over our heads. We'll do it again. Freeman underneath a fastball that time. And Copper trying to repeat a performance in Wareham, where he only allowed 1 hit in 1 inning of work. He kicks and throws. Freeman chops it towards first. Bailey throws to his pitcher, Copper, who's late to the bag, but barely gets Freeman as he jogs into first base for the first out.
PFP's at its finest.
I'm sure Mitch Carricker and company on the Hyannis dugout would have liked to see that a little bit more surefire than that one was, but no pictures on the scorebook, folks. And with one out, up comes Daniel Jackson, who mashed a home run, a towering drive to left center field in the 6th. That stretched Chatham's lead to 2. First pitch is right over the heart of the plate. A breaking ball, 0-1. Jackson sets back in, Copper working quickly from the windup. Glove at his face, he drops it over his head and fires. This one over the netting and out of play. And it's quickly 0-2 to Daniel Jackson, who steps out of the box and into that of the first base side and takes a lap all the way around the umpire, Jake Brichta, back into the right-handed batter's box. Taps the dish twice with his cream and black bat into his crouch. Copper's 0-2. Breaking ball misses outside, 1-2 to Daniel Jackson. The Georgia Bulldog typically plays catcher. He's DH this season for Chatham. He's also caught, and tonight he plays first. The 1-2 misses high at the letters, 2-2. As Jackson has kept the bat on the shoulder each of the last 2 balls from Copper. He steps out momentarily, steps back in. Copper working quickly from the windup, the 2-2. Nearly hits Jackson, who has been hit tonight. It comes off the maybe end of the bat. A foul tip will keep it here. Actually, they called it a ball. Missed him entirely. Did hear a sound, and Jake Brichta gives him the ball. 1 out, no one aboard. Copper stares at Briggs for his sign, brings his glove to his face, and come home. This one indeed nearly hits Jackson. It taps in front of Briggs, and Brichta calling that one off. They're going to say it hit him. Or was it a foul tip?
I believe that hit off the knob, so that should be a fair ball, right?
A fair ball that did bounce in play.
Oh, hit it in the batter's box.
Oh, hit it in the batter's box before it bounced in. So we'll do it again. It's a foul ball.
Well, there's clearly a mechanical issue going on with Copper because he's missing that fastball up and in pretty consistently.
Same location each of the last 2 pitches.
So he might not see that pitch right now because he cannot locate it. So probably see one of those wipeout sliders.
It's that high looping breaking ball he threw on the last 2 offerings. And now he sets in. We'll redo the 3-2. Copper kicks and throws. And breaking ball misses low and away. This one a no-doubt ball 4 as Jackson takes first base.
It's important to remember that Eddie Copper did not make an appearance this year in college ball. He redshirted in 2025 at South Carolina. So this is really only his second appearance since 2024. He's still got to be shaking off some rust, and he's doing it against the best competition in college.
So up comes Duncan Matthews, the battery mate for Chatham, pitching tonight with 1 out and Jackson aboard. First pitch to him, foul down the first baseline and out of play. 0-1 to the catcher.
6th walk of the day for the Hyannis pitching staff. That is much more inflated than we've seen the past couple days.
But also 10 strikeouts for the Hawks. The righty awaits an 0-1 from the righty Copper. This one is chopped past the pitcher towards the shortstop Bates. He's got no play at second. He slings it to first. Bailey comes off the bag, but he gets the tag in one fell swoop. And that's the 2nd out of the inning. That's a similar play to what we saw late last night in the Yankee game, where Austin Wells popped out of his crouch, threw it down to third base, and as it took the third baseman Christian Moore off the bag, he tagged out Jason Dominguez to end an inning. That was almost identical play, but on the opposite side of the diamond.
I'll have to take your word about the Yankee game. I did not watch it, but that was very impressive. That was a good play. He clearly could not make a play at second for the double, and so made the mature decision in just going to first and trying to get that one out, and he was able to.
Throw brings Bailey off the bag. Fortuitously enough, he is right in front of Matthews as he makes the grab, and one tag later, there's 2 outs. We'll flip the order. Up comes Ethan Mendoza, the leadoff man, who's had a busy night. A home run and a single, 2 RBI. Is Copper's first pitch to him, skips in the dirt, caught by the catcher Briggs off the hop, 1-0. He's got a man on second in Daniel Jackson, who advances with Matthews' ground out. And with 2 outs, he's the lone angler aboard. The A's lead the Hawks 6-4 here in the bottom of the 8th. The pitch is fouled back into the netting. 1-1 the count. Mendoza, the Texas Longhorn, hit that leadoff home run in what was the most line drive, for lack of better term, home run of the night. A bit of a frozen rope when you think about how high Bailey's home run went and Jackson's home run went back in the 6th inning. Max, I believe you said it was a 37-degree launch angle on Bailey's stinger.
Yep.
2 outs and Jackson aboard. The aforementioned Daniel Jackson. 1-1 is right over the heart for a strike. Fastball from Copper. 1-2. The count to Mendoza.
Apparently it's 61 miles an hour, according to the scoreboard.
It's almost like a position player came in and dished that one. More like my fastball. 1-2. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Copper fans Mendoza and strands Jackson in the bottom of the 8th. So the Anglers get some action along the base paths, but not much after Copper faces 1 above the minimum. No hits, 1 man left on base, no errors in the field from Hyannis, and most key at this point in the game, no runs on the board. To the 9th inning we go. The Hawks trail the Anglers 6-4 here at Veterans Field in Chatham.
Get ready for big results with our small machines. With more power, performance, comfort, and savings, they are ready for every job. And we're ready with plenty of inventory, the best support in the business, same-day parts availability, and locations across the Northeast. So you can always be ready to work. Milton Cat, always ready.
If you can dream it, if you can cruise in it, if you can summer in it, fish from it, or take it for a day at the beach, we can protect it. The Baldwin Group, protecting the possible.
The Harbor Hawks are down to their final 3 outs in this game as they trail Chatham 6-4 here at Veterans Field. It's a new arm on the bump for the Anglers to face 6, 7, and 8 in the Harbor Hawk order. It's the righty Chris Rembert, the lefty Charlie Bates, and the switch-hitting Hayden Federico to the dish here in the top of the 9th on the Harbor Hawk Baseball Network. Get the name of the new pitcher for you here as he takes his final warm-ups. It's Preston Barr, the right-hander, a sophomore at Michigan, and a Michigan native in 14 appearances during his freshman year for the Wolverines. A 1-1 record, 7.23 ERA in 18 innings of work. Just 7 strikeouts and 4 walks, a couple of dingers allowed. Nice appearance on April 18th. 3 innings pitched, 2 hits, 2 strikeouts. His first pitch to Rembert is smoked into left field. On it, Ford, he makes the grab. Oh no, it drops in front of him. I thought he was able to corral it, but instead it bounces right into his glove. And just like that, Rembert's aboard, 1 pitch into the 9th.
That was one of those weird plays where it was far enough away it looked like he got it in the basket, but it just kind of crow-hopped, and almost like tennis, you play it on a quick bounce.
Maybe a slide was in order from Ford. Had he slid for that, he could have caught it in one fell swoop. But up comes Charlie Bates, the lefty shortstop for Hyannis, with Rembert aboard. First pitch to him is fouled over the netting and out of play. 0-1 to the Stanford Cardinals starting shortstop.
And it sounded like the fans kind of thought that he caught it as well, because everyone started cheering here and then kind of went, huh? As they saw him stand on first base.
Picked it so cleanly. 0-1 is taken in for ball 1, it looks like, although the scoreboard would indicate differently. And it is indeed 1-1 on the count of the umpire, Jake Brickta. Rembert on first after the single. Bates at the plate. The pitch is tapped towards the first base line and just tails foul. Caught on the barrel by Charlie Bates, who dipped low to catch the breaking ball, but he smoked it too far down the first base line, 0-2.
Big pitch coming up. This has got to be best for both. The batter's got to see it quickly, and the pitcher's got to throw his best stuff.
Bates trying not to waste a leadoff single from Rembert. 0-2 is chopped that direction towards the first baseman, Jackson. He goes to second for one. There's no play after that as the pitcher Barr came over to cover the bag. There's an out at second in Rembert, and that allows Bates to reach.
Bates is so quick, they were never going to get him back on that double play, and he legs everything out, as we found out in the sixth, his last plate appearance, but just tapped it, and it was a really good play by Jackson, the first baseman, to charge in, get it, forget about first base, and just get the lead runner.
So Bates reaches on the fielder's choice. That brings up Hayden Federico, hitting from the left side for the second time tonight after his inaugural 2 at-bats from the right. With 1 out and 1 on, the pitch. Misses at the letters and inside, 1-0 from Barr, the breaking ball at 80 miles per hour. He takes a peek over at first as he drops his glove on his left thigh. Federico taps the dish with his all-black bat, his cream-colored helmet. A breath from Barr. He's set from the stretch. He throws. And a swing and a foul ball from Federico. 1-1. The count to the Ole Miss Rebel. An all-SEC freshman selection for the Rebs. A season where he worked 34 walks and struck out 34 times in Oxford. It's Bates off of first. The infield shifting the lefty to push. Barr a long hold, now the 1-1. Misses inside with the breaking ball. 2-1 to Federico.
It's a great take right there. Started it right by the belt. It looks so good, and it darts below the zone. And a big gap in right center field as Ford shaded out towards left center.
Walks are Federico's forte. He's got 2 tonight to lead the Harbor Hawks this season with 6. 1 out and Bates on first. 6-4 Chatham in the top of the 9th. Time called by Brichta. Looks like it's going to be a pitch clock violation on the pitcher Barr, and that awards a ball to Federico. He did not come set by the allotted time. They up it to 3-1 on the scoreboard. It should be just, no, it'll be 3-1 by our count, so. Federico the tying run. It's 3-1 with 1 out and Bates on. The pitch. Foul down the first baseline towards the Hyannis bullpen. That loads the count, 3-2.
This is why he's such a hard at bat to get out, is because Federico, he makes contact consistently. He'll foul off a lot of pitches, and he'll wait. He won't expand the zone. He's just going to make contact with what you put in the zone and then going to lay off on a lot of pitches that he doesn't like.
He told us he'll only swing at a pitch he thinks he can drive. See if he gets one here. 3-2, 1 out. The pitch. Off goes Bates as he sails this into center field. Ford calls off Hanley, and there's the second out as the Anglers are just 1 out away from a second consecutive win here in this early part of the season.
The catcher, number 32.
And that leaves Brody Briggs as the final hope for Hyannis. The Arizona State Sun Devil comes to the plate for a 4th time tonight. He flew out to right in the 3rd, singled in the 4th, and grounded out in the 7th. He's got Charlie Bates, his shortstop, on first base. The infield back with the middle infielders' toes on the heels on the outfield grass. Barr's first pitch drifts inside with a breaking ball. It's 1-0 to Brody Briggs.
Briggs has had a solid night. 1 for 3, has that single in the 4th. He's made a lot of contact, has put everything in play, has not struck out. So a good guy to have up at the plate at this point.
Barr working quickly. Briggs ready for it with 2 outs and 1 on. His 1-0. He comes inside and clips the inner black. 1-1 as the count levels to Briggs. A fastball this time from Barr. He's just 2 strikes away from closing out Chatham's second win this season after an 0-2 start for the Anglers. And trying to win their second straight and hand Hyannis its second straight loss. 1-1. Swing and a miss. Briggs way out in front of the breaking ball, and now Barr a strike away. Bates is on first for Hyannis. The infield is back with the second baseman Mendoza all the way in the shallow right. Briggs digs in from the lefty box. Barr atop the mound, set from the stretch, glove at his belt. 1-2 pitch is in the dirt. It bounces in front of Matthews. It's 2-2.
Good job by Matthews to stay out in front of it as well, because Charlie Bates is quick. Any little room and he would have charged for second.
Chatham would have likely allowed him to take the bag. He's got a healthy lead with the first baseman Jackson back and heels on the outfield grass. Deuce is wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Brody Briggs, the last hope for Hyannis. The pitch is fouled back into the netting. We'll do it again. Briggs steps out of the box. He stayed alive on one end from the pitch that traveled 58 of the 60 feet from Barr. And on the last end, he's able to fight off a fastball. He steps back in. We'll do the 2-2 one more time with 2 outs. Bates leads off of first. The pitch. Another foul ball. And we'll once again reload the 2-2.
He is staying so strong, so vigilant with his approach, not letting anything go by him that's in the zone. Really impressive this late in the game.
You gotta love the fight.
See if something can give here on a third straight 2-2 count with 2 outs. Barr's pitch. Inside for ball 3. Time to start the party. We'll load the count. 3-2 to Brody Briggs. And the Chatham fans air their grievances about that breaking ball miss for Jake Brickta, the home plate umpire. 3-2 for Briggs. He digs in from the lefty box. Barr set from the stretch. Bates a healthy lead on first. The 3-2 pitch with Bates off. Ball 4. Briggs extends the game for the moment. We'll send it back to the top of the order with the go-ahead run at the plate in Ryan McKay, the leadoff man.
That is such an impressive at-bat. It was 2-2 for 3 straight pitches, and he fouled off 3 straight pitches to give his team more life. And that last 2-2 pitch that just went low, unbelievable not to bite and swing on that because it was so close to the zone. Obviously, as a lot of the Chatham fans thought that it should have been strike 3. And then he was able to draw the walk, get it back to the top of the order that has been really, really strong. You could not have asked for a better at-bat if you're Mitch Carricker.
So Bates reaches on the fielder's choice. He advances to second. After Federico struck out, Brody Briggs reaches with a walk to give Matt Mura a chance, or rather Ryan McKay a chance, with Mura on deck and Williamson in the hole should the inning further that far. 2 outs, Bates on second, Briggs on first. The lefty second baseman Ryan McKay digs in to face Barr. 6-4 Chatham lead in the top of the 9th. The pitch. Right upstairs for strike 1 on the fastball from Barr at 90 miles per hour. McKay barely moved. You want to at least take a pitch in this critical at-bat for Hyannis. Trying to avoid a 2-game skid after a 2-0 start. 1-0. Fouled back over the third base line. Well, 1-1 the count now as it levels to Ryan McKay.
And McKay looks like he's just shortening up his swing from the get-go here. He's just trying to get something in play. Doesn't want to take a huge cut and risk popping up to end the game.
McKay sets in. He's ready to face the 1-1. The infield shifts him slightly to pull, the lefty. Barr looks back at second, kicks and fires. This one is muscled towards short. It's booted in second, and it's Mendoza who lets it go into center field. That brings home Bates. Briggs goes to third, and an error on the second baseman Mendoza will extend the inning and give Hyannis a 5th run as Bates comes across.
The value of putting the ball in play and good things will happen. He hit it on the screws right at the second baseman Mendoza, and it took a tough hop
So there comes Bates, who advances a couple of bases. McKay stops at first. He's extended the game, and not by any fault of his own. Up comes the righty, Matt Mura, a Hawaii Rainbow Warrior. Swings it, plays at center field tonight, and the infield's got him shifted to pull. Two outs. It comes in. It's past the first base line and into right field. There's the tying run in Briggs. Mura rounds first. He's in at second. That one drifts all the way to the bullpen. And Hyannis, with its back against the wall, has tied this game at 6. A screamer down the first base line from Mura. He flared it the other way. The first pitch he saw from Preston Barr. The score knots at 6. Hyannis was at one point down 5-0 in this game, and they've come all the way back. 6-6 ball game with 2 outs in the 9th, and the most dangerous hitter in the Harbor Hawk lineup, and Andrew Williamson at the plate. Nearly left the yard in his last at-bat. First pitch to him is chopped softly to the pitcher. They'll get the out at first base. Barr throws to Jackson, and that ends the threat. But Hyannis did its job. A 6-6 ball game. After Bates begins the rally, he reaches on a fielder's choice. Brody Briggs extends the inning despite being down 2 strikes to no balls at one point in the at-bat. A Ryan McKay error allows Bates to come home. And Mura, the hero, with a shot down the first base line to bring across Briggs and tie this game up at 6. To the bottom of the 9th we go here in Veterans Field. Ryan Spechiak going to get the ball in an attempt to send this to extras.
This week we've been working a lot with doing play-by-plays, just doing behind-the-scenes stuff with sports broadcasting, which I never really realized how much went into it, but it's been really cool.
They've grown a lot. I've never really done like a program like this before, so like seeing all the behind the scenes has like really grown.
I've learned how to really just gain confidence in my play-by-play speaking, and I've learned more terms here when it comes to directing and producing. And I've just had a great time with John Rook.
Doing the play-by-play stuff and all that, being with a guy like John Rook, understanding what like the major kind of entails doing this camp, just really a preview for what you do here at Dean or any other college doing broadcasting. So I'm definitely more prepared to make this a job of mine.
Cape Cod 5 is proud to be the official banking partner of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Cape Cod 5 offers a broad range of financial products and services tailored for every stage in your financial journey. Reach out to us. We're here to help.
Here at the Mass State Lottery, we're known for our monster wins. But there's no bigger win than the $1 billion we provide each year to support all 351 cities and towns in Massachusetts. In our game, we know that supporting local businesses and helping communities is how we all win. Because at the lottery, we're all playing for the home team. The Mass State Lottery. Welcome to the state of winning.
As we come back to Veterans Field, this broadcast is a copyrighted production of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Any unauthorized duplication, retransmission, or other use is strictly prohibited. Back here at Veterans Field after bonanza in the top of the 9th inning, Hyannis entered the frame down 2 runs to Chatham, 6-4, and a couple of key RBI knocks from Ryan McKay and Matt Mura have erased a deficit that was at one point as high as many as 5 runs after an early inning explosion from the Anglers. But now they come to the dish, the hometown Anglers. They've got 2 of the best hitters in the entire lineup due up in Henry Ford and Ace Reese. They'll follow up with Isaiah Lane, the righty, at least for the minimum. And Jake Hanley waits further in, one beyond in the hole if he should get up here. Giovanni Collada, Graham Nash, Max Schwartzberg here on the Cape Cod, on the Harbor Hawk Baseball Network. Here, Graham, for what could be the most exciting inning of Harbor Hawk baseball in 2025.
I think it's going to be, bottom of the 9th with extra innings looming. That's the only result that Hyannis is really looking for here. There's no way for them that they want this to end right now.
Spechiak's first pitch to Ford, a strike on the outer black. It clips to the former Virginia Cavalier, looking for a new home in 2025 after entering the transfer portal. Speciak, the Florida State Seminole. 0-1 pitch is skied into center field. Mura barely moves. He flashes the leather. 1 down in the 9th for Chatham.
That's exactly what Hyannis is looking for. Early fly balls that don't go too far. That's pretty much picturesque because Speciak, he can just keep dealing. He can keep working for as long as he wants if he can keep that pitch count down and get early quick outs.
Correction on Ryan Speciak's school. He attends Stanford, the Goleta, California native, a rising junior for the Cardinal. 1 out here in the bottom of the 9th. He's been tabbed as the closer. First pitch to Ace Reese, fouled back right at our booth. It's 0-1 to the SEC Newcomer of the Year from Mississippi State. Speciak closed against Harwich on Sunday, 1 over the minimum in his first appearance of the summer, and recorded the save. Just 1 inning pitched, 1 hit, and a strikeout. And a 0-1 offering to Reese clips the knees, 0-2. He's doing his job so far.
Find the zone. That's literally job number 1, and that's exactly what he's doing.
A couple of strikes in a row, 1 out, no one aboard. Bottom of the 9th, a 6-6 game. The pitch misses outside with a fastball at 94. 1-2 to Ace Reese. Reese in the lefty box, ready as Speciak kicks and deals from the windup. Misses outside again, similar location, just a mile per hour off the last pitch. Count levels, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
This is a must-throw strike right here. You don't want to run it full.
Reese today, 1 for 3 with a single in his inaugural at-bat. Hasn't reached base since. The 2-2. Right down Broadway, strike 3 from Speciak. Fastball dots at 92 miles per hour. 2 up and 2 down for the Stanford Cardinal rising junior.
K number 12 for the pitching staff today for Hyannis. They continue to impress. It's unbelievable. And they continue to impress in big moments. They are not shying away from the moment so far in this young season.
Win or lose, strikeouts are at a premium for Hyannis, who struck out 33 in 3 games up to 35. Here's Isaiah Lane. It comes inside on the breaking ball, and it misses 1-0. That'd be 45. I'll correct my misspeak there. As the shortstop Lane steps out of the box, the righty is at the plate for a 5th time today. He's 1 for 3 with a fielder's choice, a walk, and 2 strikeouts. The 1-0 clips the inner black for a strike at 83 miles per hour, 1-1. With 2 outs and nobody on, Lane, the last hope if he can extend the inning here for Chatham to avoid extra innings. Speciak kicks and fires. Breaking ball misses low and away. 1-2.
I like that pitch, though, from Speciak.
2-1, I should say.
Starts in the zone, moves away, trying to get Ace Reese to swing at something. This is Isaiah Lane.
The righty Lane ready. The righty Speciak deals. A fastball right over the heart. And he is a strike away from extra innings here at Veterans Field.
That's why I like that first pitch, because now Lane thinks that pitch could be coming again, so he has to sit a little bit later on the fastball, and then it's by him.
The 2-2 is over the plate. Ooh. Nearly. Wow. Briggs with the call of his own. And Jake Brichta resumes the game. It's a loaded count at 3-2. Briggs was sure as anything that was a strike. And the 3rd of the count for Speciak.
That's not going to win you any points with Jake Brichta behind the plate.
We'll do it. One more pitch here. 3-2, 2 outs. Nobody aboard. Speciak comes home and dishes ball 4. Retribution for Brody Briggs as Isaiah Lane has extended the inning for Chatham. And up comes Jake Hanley with an opportunity as Lane is aboard with 2 outs.
Walk number 7 for Hyannis in this ball game, the most that they've allowed in a game in this young season. So they've been missing the zone. Although they've been striking out a lot, they've also been giving a lot of free passes, and that's something that they'll want to clean up.
The lefty Hanley to the plate for a 5th time. Speciak switches from the windup to the stretch, peers back at first, and fires. Fouled back by Hanley over the press box. 0-1. To the power-hitting lefty, normally a first baseman at Indiana. Tonight he plays left field, just as he has the last 2 games for Chatham. He's back in the lefty box. Tie ball game at 6. 0-1. It's low and at the knees. 1-1 from Speciak.
I like that pitch, though. That was that changeup on the outer half, and then you could see it induced the bat off the shoulder. It has him thinking now. He's got options to go with this count.
Speciak set from the stretch. 1-1 pitch. And that one clips the inner black for a strike. Just one pitch away with 2 outs, and Lane aboard after the walk. Hanley sets back in. He taps the dish with his cream-colored bat. Taps it towards Speciak and angles it behind his royal blue angler helmet. Speciak nods. Now the pitch. In for strike 3. Punch him out. Hanley sends this game to extra innings as Speciak dots up a fastball at 92 miles per hour. To the 10th we go. For the first time in this Hyannis Harbor Hawks season, all square through 9 frames. It's a 6-6 ball game. Ford flies out. Reese grounds out. Lane walks, but Hanley K's up. And we are headed to the 10th inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, just 1 left on base. Extra baseball on the Harbor Hawks Baseball Network for the first time this summer.
When it comes to delicious food, the best place to start is with great appliances. And Cam Appliances is your one-stop shop for any budget with brands like Thermador, Viking, Bosch, GE, and so much more. Cam Appliances, sales, delivery, installation, and service in the heart of your home with locations in Hyannis, Nantucket, and Hanover.
Here at the Mass State Lottery, we're known for our monster wins. But there's no bigger win than the $1 billion we provide each year to support all 351 cities and towns in Massachusetts. In our game, we know that supporting local businesses and helping communities is how we all win. Because at the lottery, we're all playing for the home team. The Mass State Lottery. Welcome to the state of winning.
To the top of the 10th at Veterans Field for the first time this season for the Hyannis Harbor Hawks. Extra innings on the Harbor Hawks Baseball Network. 6-6 ball game after a couple of clutch runs, or clutch RBI in the top of the 9th from Ryan McKay and Matt Mura. Leveled the score square after Chatham at one point led this game 5-0. Hyannis came all the way back. Largely off the bats you're about to see in this inning, folks. It's 4, 5, and 6 up for the Hyannis Harbor Hawks to face the righty Preston Barr, beginning with the righty Ray Velasquez. The third baseman has a runner on second and Andrew Williamson in the top of the 10th. First pitch to him. A breaking ball that drips below the catcher, and that will allow Williamson to advance with ease as Matthews recovers that ball just shy of the backstop. 1-0 the count to Velasquez, and now a meeting initiated by Duncan Matthews with Preston Barr.
It's a couple balls throughout this night that Matthews has just botched. Balls that he should have stopped, and Hyannis is going to have to take advantage.
That takes away all the strategy as well from this first batter. There's a lot of desire to throw down a bunt, but now that runner's 90 feet away, you can just swing away.
Velasquez ahead 1-0. Barr kicks and fires. Up and at the head of Velasquez, 2-0. Just so it's one extra inning in the Cape Cod Baseball League. And after that, it will go to a tie.
Infield is in, so he's got to elevate.
We have one tie so far this year between YD and Bourne last night, a 6-6 tie. 2-0 is chopped foul third base line. That would, ironically, be the exact same score should Chatham and Hyannis tonight, as the Harbor Hawks and A's are knotted at 6. Velasquez steps in. He's ahead of Barr 2-1. The infield in. Everyone's got a foot on the infield grass. Barr's 2-1. is muscled up through the gap. Williamson will come home to score as the ball dribbles into center field. Williamson jammed at the hands, but he gets it through the opening. And Hyannis takes a 7-6 lead. They've scored 3 unanswered on Chatham.
Well, Hyannis got all of the momentum back in that 9th inning, and they have carried it into the 10th. The pitching was phenomenal in the 9th as well. All signs are leading to go right now for the Harbor Hawks.
And up comes the man that arguably changed the game in Hyannis' favor in Miles Bailey with a 3-run shot in the 4th. First pitch to him here in the 10th brings Matthews out of his crouch as he's got to recover a breaking ball that misses inside. 1-0 to the power hitting Bailey. Velasquez leads off first. Bailey set in the box, the 1-0. Fouled straight back over our heads. 1-1. A powerful foul ball from a powerful hitter. 6'4", 257. Miles Bailey, the first baseman at Florida State. 1-1 on deck from Barr, who's set from the stretch with the glove at his belt. He kicks and deals. Swing and a miss from Bailey. Healthy cut at a fastball at 90 miles per hour. 1-2.
He is swinging for the fences. He wants the long ball, to say the least. That was a massive swing.
He flew out in his opening at-bat of the game in the 2nd. That a ball that traveled 13 of 314 feet in right field. The 1-2. Fouled back over the screen. We'll do it again. Still no one out in the top of the 10th. The runner, I don't know if it's called a ghost runner or just an automatic runner on second, and Williamson advanced off the RBI single from Velasquez. And the reason he advanced so easily was because of a pass ball on the opening pitch of the 10th inning to Velasquez. Barr appears in for his sign, now checks up with Velasquez at first. He's back safely, but he has been picked off tonight. A 1-2 on deck from Preston Barr. He's got his sign from Duncan Matthews. From the stretch, he is set. He kicks and fires. Pitch in the dirt. Bailey barely moves. Count levels, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Bailey, he's got good plate discipline. He's not going to swing at those a lot, but he does swing at the breaking ball, so I wouldn't be surprised to see if we see a breaking ball here that ends in the zone.
2 balls, 2 strikes, nobody out, just 1 on. The pitch. A check swing at a strike, or a ball rather. That one makes more sense as Bailey did not move. He did not go around off the first baseman, Carl Rodriguez. And the Chatham dugout, or rather the Chatham dugout, unhappy. 3-2 with Velasquez on first and nobody out here in the top of the 10th. It's 7-6 Hyannis. A breath from Barr, a kick and a fire. Swing and a miss, he struck him out. He goes back to the heat to K up Miles Bailey for the 2nd time tonight. 1 down in the top of the 10th here in Chatham. So still life for Hyannis as Chatham tries to keep it right here. Up comes Chris Rember, who, if you want to pin the beginning of the rally, it was truly him in the top of the 9th with a first pitch single to lead things off. Barr's first pitch is roped towards the same way. It's a great play on a dive from the shortstop. Well, it was a 2nd for 1, over to first for the twin killing, and Chatham escapes any further danger. But Ray Velasquez does tag the Anglers for a 7th run of the game. One of his early swings of the at-bat in the top of the 10th inning plates the automatic runner in Andrew Williamson. And Hyannis takes its first lead of the game at long last with 1 hit from Velasquez, 1 runner left. He's left on base, no errors in the field, a twin killing from Chatham, and 1 run from Hyannis. We'll see if the Harbor Hawks can fend off the A's in the bottom of the 10th inning. And if not, we're headed for a tie or an Angler win here on the Harbor Hawks Baseball Network.
Owning a home means you can protect your family and put down roots in a community you care about. It gives you a place to celebrate the joys of daily living and be together during tough times. But for many on Cape Cod, home ownership is slipping further out of reach. Help make sure the American dream is available to the teachers, public safety professionals, and all the other people who make the Cape a special place. Visit capehousingmatters.org to find out more.
Bottom of the 10th inning here at Veterans Field in Chatham. For the first time all game, the Harbor Hawks lead the Anglers. It's a 7-6 score as we enter the bottom of the 10th inning. Due up for Chatham, it's 6, 7, and 8, beginning with the switch-hitting DH Noah Miller. He's batted exclusively from the right side tonight, and as he takes his final warm-up swings, it's trending that way again. A brief meeting at the mound concludes between Brody Briggs and Ryan Spechiak, the right-handed pitcher from the Stanford Cardinal, normally a long reliever. Now twice this season for Hyannis, he has been asked to close out a game. Closing out a game for Hyannis against Wareham in the opening day win, rather for against Harwich on Sunday, a one inning of work, a strikeout, no runs allowed. Automatic runner on second, Jake Hanley, who struck out to end the 9th inning for Chatham.
And I believe it's a pinch runner, actually, for Hanley. They've put in someone a little bit more speedy.
Travis Sanders takes the spot of Jake Hanley at second as the automatic runner. Spechiak glances back and fires. First pitch is outside with a breaking ball and misses low and away, 1-0 to Noah Miller.
As we saw just a moment ago, the most important piece of the puzzle right now for Hyannis is Brody Briggs and staying in front of every single pitch that's thrown. That's the easiest way to give away the game.
1-0 pitch as Miller squares. The strike comes in. 1-1 as the count levels to Miller. Miller has struck out twice tonight, flown out and grounded out. And after a brief pause, he steps back into the box, holds the bat directly in front of his right shoulder. Spechiak peers in for his sign. Sanders a healthy lead off second. He squares to bunt as the pitch comes in low and away. And that will make it 2-1. Although, obviously the scoreboard's changed to 3-0. And they've called balls on Ryan Spechiak to spike the bunt.
Wouldn't be the end of the world if he was on first base, because then it would set up the ground ball double play.
A breath and the pitch. Squares to bunt again, and this is ball 4. Spechiak can't believe it. A couple of pitches that probably should have missed, and the reaction from the Hyannis dugout reflects that as Chatham sends Jackson Freeman to the dish after a leadoff walk to begin the 10th from Noah Miller.
8 walks now for Hyannis pitching. That is just not going to cut it if you really want to win a baseball game, which obviously all of these guys do. So the pitching staff, they got a day off tomorrow. Or, well, a work day, I guess, but a day off of a game, so they're going to have to clean that up.
Time called by Jackson Freeman. He'll meet with his third base coach. A couple paces off the third base line. A brief conversation. They've likely spotted a tendency for Ryan Spechiak, and he walks halfway to the second base bag for a quick word with Charlie Bates, his shortstop. The first baseman, Miles Bailey, his feet fully on the infield grass as he prepares for the bunt. No one out and 2 aboard. Travis Sanders pinch running for Jay Hanley on second. And Noah Miller after his leadoff walk on first. The lefty Jackson Freeman digs in. Spechiak's first ball. Low and inside. He takes it for ball 1. Fastball misses low and away, or low and in rather, at 90 miles per hour. Freeman's had himself a busy day. A double in the second. Hasn't done much along the base pass after that, but did rob Andrew Williamson of a home run. 1-0 pitch. Right down Broadway for a strike. 91 miles per hour on the gun. The fastball renders it 1-1 count to Freeman.
Really important pitch there because they were going to make him show them a strike. They were totally in walk mode. They were going to take every ball that they could.
Runners with healthy leads each. The 1-1 pitch swung through. Freeman way out in front of that one. It's 1-2 now to Speciak as he seeks the first out of this inning. Speciak peers in for his sign, crouching and hanging the right arm in between his legs. Now he comes set from the stretch, glove at the belt, the pitch. Sliced foul, third base side, out of play. Off the light pole and into the dugout. Freeman steps out of the box, sporting a cream-colored and black bat that he lets hang behind his right thigh. Now twirls a few times as he steps back in, rests it on his left shoulder. Speciak deals. 1-2 is taken by Freeman for a ball, 2-2. Thought about the swing and laid off.
He did. He really wanted to go on the high heater, but he was able to hold off. A good decision as that was well away.
Still nobody out. Room to be conservative with 2 runners aboard. The first baseman Bailey backs behind the runner Miller. 2-2 is clubbed towards that end. Bailey turns and throws to second for 1. It stretches McKay off the bag, and everyone's safe. Miller slides in, and the throw from Bailey takes McKay off of the second base bag. The bases are loaded with anglers with no one out in the bottom of the 10th. Hyannis clings to that 7-6 lead. The tying run 90 feet away. The go-ahead run 180 feet away. Max, that fully on the shoulders of Bailey.
Yeah, Bailey ready, and it had the good hop. It wasn't even that in-between hop, and unfortunately just going too fast, as it looks like manager Mitch Carricker is coming out.
Coach gets to the mound, having a brief discussion with Ryan Speciak. Of course, sure, Bailey's the one that's got to absorb the hit of that mistake, but of course, Ryan Speciak now has to deal with that mentally, Graham, as he tries to navigate through this Angler lineup with trouble aboard the base paths.
Yeah, that's probably the toughest thing to do as a pitcher. You thought that you got at least one down. There was potential there if the throw was on the money for the double play. And instead, everyone is safe. There are 2 in scoring position, which that second runner in scoring position is the go-ahead that can end the inning. So he's got to avoid all kind of contact with no outs on the scoreboard.
A game that began as a difficult outing for Ethan Plog of Chatham. A 5-run explosion for the A's. Hyannis clawed all the way back to lead 7-6. Bases loaded, nobody out. The first pitch here to Daniel Jackson from Speciak is a strike.
If you're going to notice, the outfielders are very shallow because they're going to have to do anything they can to stop the play at the plate.
Fly ball to the outfield will plate the run at third. 0-1 is flown into center field, converging on it. Multiple Harbor Hawks, and it drops in front of Mira for a base hit. This will allow him to make the throw. It is not in time. Chatham brings the tying run across. Sanders slides in unimpeded, and the bases are loaded again. Now a discussion here. Coach Carricker's incensed. Maybe interference coming in here. Some kind of call. Max, what do you see?
I think Briggs thought that he got him for sure. That was a bang play at the plate.
Coach Carricker came sprinting out of the dugout.
Briggs was certain that he had him.
He is unbelievably mad. Some controversy on a couple of calls last night in the Hyannis game. One on Carson Tinney at the plate, the other on Miles Bailey at first base for Hyannis. But that brings Duncan Matthews to the plate, and now a tie game. Bases still loaded with no one out. Both infielders in for the Harbor Hawks in case of the bunt. First pitch to him across the letters and high for ball 1.
Now the outfield is almost, about 20, 30 feet past the infield dirt. It's do or die in this situation.
Matt Mira standing right in the center of center field between the infield and outfield grass. And there's a strike from Ryan Speciak on the fastball. 1-1 to Duncan Matthews. It's Noah Miller on third, Jackson Freeman on second, Daniel Jackson on first. McKay, the second baseman for Hyannis, on the infield grass. Everyone else with their toes on the infield grass. Another strike from Speciak at 91. Matthews steps out of the box. Mendoza waits on deck, the leadoff man. You got the go-ahead run 90 feet away for the catcher Matthews. Speciak from the stretch. Glove at his belt. He throws. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Speciak gets one back with the fastball. And there's one out here in the bottom of the 10th after Chatham have just gotten a run back. So they've sealed at the tie at the very least. Hyannis cannot win this game. But now Ethan Mendoza will try to avoid a second tie on the Cape so far this summer after Bourne and YD tied yesterday at 6-6. It's a 7-7 ball game here in the bottom of the 10th. And up comes Ethan Mendoza for a 6th time in this game with the bases loaded and one out. First pitch to him at his belt. It's called a ball.
The Harbor Hawks dugout is extremely frustrated now.
Coach Carricker incensed on that play at the plate for Brody Briggs, where he thought he got him out at the plate. But Travis Sanders slides in. What a throw by Mira, too, after letting the ball drop in front of him. The right play. 1-0, sliced foul first base side. 1-1. For Mendoza, he began the party here at Veterans Field. It's now lasted over 3 hours and 30 minutes. A home run to begin the game. A single in the second. He eventually scored. He has not reached base since then. 1-1. Inside, a fastball misses the inner black. Mendoza barely moves. And Speciak has got to take a lap. He steps off the rubber, now strides back towards it. 2-1 the count to Mendoza with the bases full of anglers and one out. 7-7 score, bottom of the 10th. Speciak peers in for his sign and throws. This one is flown high into shallow right. Tagging on third is Miller. He gets the catch, and that will leave him there as Miller got halfway across to home. But a great throw in right from Chris Rembert. Going to stop the Chatham DH there. And now with 2 outs, any sort of ball in play could end this game a tie for Hyannis, which would be a momentous victory for the Hawks.
I'm shocked that they did not send the runner at third and Noah Miller, because that was still pretty deep into right field. I feel like they could have tried to at least to squeeze him, and if you don't, then you've still got a runner on second, in which case, if that you do get the out, I don't know.
I mean, I don't know, Graham, because Rembert is so far in.
Final hope for Chatham, Henry Ford, if he can extend the inning. First pitch to him is right over the heart for a strike at 92 miles per hour. And the Harbor Hawk bench gives its praise, sarcastically so, to Jake Brichta. The center fielder Ford digs in. Speciak peers for his sign. Bag still juice, but now 2 outs. 0-1 is lifted into center field. Mira converges on it. Miller's already off the bag, and that is the end of the game. So we have our second tie on Cape Cod this summer. Hyannis and Chatham play 10 innings, but it's not enough to break the tie between a couple of teams who are looking to break streaks in opposite directions. 7-7 the final as Chatham and Hyannis battle into the night here at Veterans Field. Final score from Chatham: Harbor Hawks 7, Anglers 7. 7 runs for Hyannis, 10 hits, 1 error in the field. 7 runs for Chatham, 7 hits for the Anglers, and 2 errors from the A's as they go to 1-2-1, while Hyannis goes to 2-1-1 on the year.
And the pitching, again, phenomenal, but this time Hyannis allowed 8 runs. 8 walks. That is not going to cut it, because you think about that, 8 free chances, that easily equals 1 run. That was the difference in this ball game. So if there's anything to look at for the pitching, because it's been so clean in the first 3 games, the walks, you need to decrease that number come Thursday.
Absolutely, and the strikeout's still high, but it's the walks today that sticks out. Of course, that is most certainly what the difference is in the game. Of course, ending with that tie at 7-7. Hyannis, it could have been a worse outcome, especially after going down 5-0 early. But at the end of the day, a very great play in center field by Matt Mura, not to the avail of the home plate umpire, but Hyannis, they'll take that 7-7 tie and move forward.
So on our league-wide off day tomorrow, it's a work day at America's most beloved Fenway Park, the site of practice for all 10 Cape Cod Baseball League teams tomorrow. What a special day that will be for not only players but interns involved. We'll send a few of our own to Boston to watch the Harbor Hawks and the rest of the league play at Fenway Park. The Hawks will be back in action on Thursday at Doran Park as they travel across the Cape to play the Bourne Braves before returning home on Friday to face off against the Wareham Gatemen. For all of us here at the Harbor Hawks Baseball Network, for our wonderful production team of Daniel Bottolino, Sam Montag, and Charlie Adams, our sideline reporters Ava Fernandez and Ethan Wax, from Max Schwartzberg and Graham Nash, I'm Giovanni Collada saying so long, everyone. It's been a heck of a night.
Here at the Mass State Lottery, we're known for our monster wins. But there's no bigger win than the $1 billion we provide each year to support all 351 cities and towns in Massachusetts. In our game, we know that supporting local businesses and helping communities is how we all win. Because at the lottery, we're all playing for the home team. The Mass State Lottery. Welcome to the state of winning.